can't let you get me like these other niggas. You don't crave attention, but I beg to differ. And you stay forever at yourself in the mirror, like you unfamiliar. Look, as long as you like it, might make shit more clearer. Girl, I know the real you. That tough girl persona, so see through. I get it now, but didn't get it before.
Queen.
Oh my God, we're finally back.
It is good to see you. Let me turn down this music in the living room.
And that song is?
That is Marina by G. Raymond, aka Just Poppy on the gram.
All right. Is it on all platforms?
On all platforms. Go ahead, go stream it.
Is it on all the things?
I need him to put out some new things.
Is it on all the things?
It's on all the things.
All right.
As far as I know, I was listening to it on YouTube earlier, but I think I also listened to it on Tidal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, be on the things, looking out for Marina.
Mm-hmm. And while we're looking out for Marina, you guys can also look out for our special guest.
Special guest. Guys, this is our first ever guest in the living room.
Yes, and we are super
so
excited to have
welcome you.
Kalia motherfucking Martin.
Kalia motherfucking Martin.
Because you deserve to have motherfucking in your name.
Oh, 1L Michelle.
I don't think I deserve that. That was a
Say
bit
hello
much.
to the people.
My God.
Hello, living room. Hi.
Hello,
this
living
fake ass
room?
voice?
Right, ew.
Who
You
is
gotta
this
warm
person?
them up, you know, because it's about to get real. So I'm
Ooh.
trying to
Yeah.
be nice in the beginning.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Kalia is I feel like Crystal West during the read at all times of her life.
How so?
Like, I just feel like she's always reading someone.
Oh, okay.
Whether she's reading climate change or
okay, Black Summer 19,
presidents
which
or-
we'll get into later, right? Giving us all the
yeah.
things.
So we have
and-
a special guest who we are, definitely going to be highlighting during Black on Black support. So she's going to be our focus today.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Kalia. Welcome everybody back. Wow, I've missed you guys.
I definitely have missed you, Queen. While you were away for a month.
I was abroad.
Is that a part of your month in review?
Yeah, because I feel like I missed a lot of things. So I'll just talk about me. Me.
Okay, wonderful. You want to kick it off?
Sure.
right.
So, wow, Cindy, that stinks.
Y'all, I have curry tofu, and I'm sorry, it apparently doesn't smell very
Oh my
pleasant.
God, it just came over here and smacked me in the face. Put the lid back on that.
The worst part is she's eating it with a fork. It is a
She
soup.
is eating a soup with a fork. What a terrorist. Anyways.
Oh, so y'all gonna gang up on me on my own podcast? Wow.
So my month in review. So y'all know we had to take a little hiatus because I took myself on a little journey by myself to LA for a whole month. I was getting all the DMs of, did you move there? What is going on here? No, I did not move. Not yet, people. I still live in Charlotte. But I went there for a month just to kind of dream chase, to network, to meet people. I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. I got to see the loves of my life. Idris Elba, Lisa Bonet, and Jason Momoa. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Imagine. Sorry, my brain just went real nasty with that one. Wow. But no, I saw all those.
I just want everybody to know I was sitting here with my mouth wide open because I just wasn't expecting that.
Oh my God! Sign
We
me
ain't
up for
got
that
no cameras
choo-choo
this time.
train. Anyways. So I got to meet a lot of people, got to do a lot of things. So hopefully
Wait.
when I do move out there, I will have the networking.
What's the train? Right, what's the train? No, like what is not?
Kalia, tell her what a train is.
No, I know what a train is, but I'm saying who's involved,
all of them and me.
including Lisa Bonet.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I was just checking.
Judgment free.
All right, so everybody DM Sydney pictures of your favorite train.
Please don't. You will be blocked.
Oh my God, that is so funny. You
With
should
a
be like,
T.
oh my God, Cindy, did you see this in Power? But attach a picture of a train from Pornhub.
And if you do, you'll be blocked with a T. I promise you that. I'm sorry. Continue.
Another cool thing that I witnessed while I was there, I saw Tyler Perry get his star.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I just kind of stumbled upon it. And actually, Idris Elba was like introducing him and congratulating him on the microphone. I'm like, I know this voice. I look up, I see Bay. I'm like, oh my God, Bay. And then he's like, yeah, and congratulations, Tyler. I'm like, huh? And then I see 6'6" Medea over there. So it was
Yeah,
really
he
cool.
is tall as
It was a
shit.
very dope experience. It was kind of like bucket list things I wanted to do while in LA. And I was like, I want to see somebody. Like, I didn't say I wanted to see somebody get a star, but I wanted to see really cool stars. So I feel like that falls in that umbrella.
Hell yeah.
But also said I want to go to a movie premiere. And even though I didn't necessarily get to like go in and watch it, I got to be on the carpet for the Joker movie. which is where I saw Zazie Beetz, who is so fine, and Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. So, yeah. LA was good to me, okay? And everybody's talking about my tan on the gram. Yeah. The sun was good to me.
Oh, yeah.
I hiked every
Hella
day. I
tan.
prayed. I meditated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do a lot of like music videos, took some acting classes. It was a good time.
Oh, that's lit.
It was a good time.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm glad you made it back safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you saw Idris Elba and your train live.
Yes.
And in the flesh. I'm glad that happened for you. I'm glad that you got all that peace and tranquility. I'm glad. I think that's something dope to accomplish too. To go.
Son of a mother. I'm fine. This is fine.
I'm glad you got to go, you know, over the. I was about to say across. I've been wanting to say across the sea, but it's really just over the land. And I'm glad you got to do the
you know,
things.
the other coast, I suppose.
Anything else you have for Month in Review? Anything?
Oh, yes, I have a surprise for everyone. So my best friend at Sid the Great came over 2 days ago and shaved my head. Look at Kalia.
Wow, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah. I thought you were going to jerk my head off whenever you saw me because, you know, you're an asshole.
I'm not that bad. That's something you would do.
Wait, I can't hear a damn thing in these here headphones.
I can hear.
I can hear as well.
Talk again.
Hello.
I feel like I can't hear y'all. Is my mic on? Because I feel like you would turn me off. What number is that?
You're number 2, right?
Oh, why don't hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Don't be leaving me off this
Yeah.
podcast now. I feel like I'm essential.
Oh, absolutely. So yes, you just shaved her head bald.
Yes.
Wow.
And Kalia didn't know till right now, so now she's probably gonna be in shock.
Actually, I should have been recording that.
Damn, I wish you would have, because her eyes, Kalia's eyes just get real big, but nothing else happens. Like everything else stays the same when she's in shock. So hell yeah, yes, y'all. So part of my month in review is I got to shave my best friend's head bald.
Yeah.
You're
Literally.
only 2 years behind because we were all supposed to do this at the same time.
You're
And
right.
Did we say that? I thought we were just supposed to lock.
I thought we were all getting locks at the same time. Sorry,
I feel
guys.
like we
It will
both-
take me much longer now.
I feel like when we both decided to shave our hair, she was like, "Yeah, y'all should do it. I kind of want to cut my hair too."
Well, you know, if I didn't do it the day Cindy came over, I might have changed my mind again and said, never mind, I want to have lime green hair. So, you know, hey.
Yeah. So hell yeah, I can add it to my list of things. And when you post the video on the internet, I'm gonna
On the gram,
my
yeah.
caption is that this is up there with my future BET awards.
Yes. Yes, good people. You'll be able to see it because Sydney recorded it.
Absolutely.
And you know what? You'll see it in the video. She made me very sad in the middle of shaving my head.
Y'all will hear the things. Yes. Heck
So
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much sums up my month in review. I just kind of wanted a new, fresh start. I feel like, you know, when Britney shaved her head and like when people do radical things like, you know, get a face tattoo, which I was kind of contemplating, like people are like, oh my God, there is something terribly awry with them. Get them the mental help that they need. But I feel like I'm actually in a really good place. And for me, shaving my head was more just like starting over, starting fresh. Not because I'm in such a bad place, but it's just like, oh, my hair has absorbed a lot of bullshit the past at least 2 years. It's been going through
Hell
some
yeah.
things. Like, it's seen me, you know, at my worst. So, like, now that I'm coming out of it, I'm like, you know what? That hair got to go, and I'm ready to make room for more new things and for my hair that grows out of my head now to absorb some beautiful, positive things. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, I don't know why I did that right before winter.
I did the same thing when I cut my hair off. It was January, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
But I was excited because I can wear toboggans. I can wear hats now. It's a
I'm
good
kind
time.
of jealous. I'm looking. I'm like, wow, that just looks so carefree.
Somebody asked me to do
it's
something,
hella
and I was like,
carefree.
"Oh yeah, I got to do my makeup and my hair," and then I was like, "Done."
Oh yeah, lit. When
Yeah, I
you
just
when
woke
you
up and go.
text me, you're like, yeah, I just got out of the shower. I was like, girl, it was a get in and get out, wasn't it? It's just so lit. When you watch that
my
scalp for
God.
the first time, you be like,
It
"Ooh,
was.
I'm done."
I felt like I was having I thought my body was shutting down when that water touched my head. I was like, like I was tensing up so bad, and then I just started busting out laughing in the shower because I'm like, why can I like physically not stop having this reflex? Because it was disgusting. It felt very weird. And that's
My
what I'm saying.
hair-
It felt like, this is my good hand. It felt like that touching my head.
Yeah.
It felt really gross.
See, my hair was never that short, so that's why I don't know exactly what this feels like. But I just know the first time I got in the shower, I was like, but you know, I was super tender-headed and still am. So when I first got in the shower, I was like, oh my God, I no longer have to cry every time I get my hair done. Literally fight my mom every time she does. My mom's the only one I ever let do my hair, so it's always a fight. And so I was like, oh God, this is finally
Your poor
over.
mama.
I cut all that. I know, my poor mom, who always yet still agrees to do my hair. Like I'd be like,
She probably every single time like, now Cindy, you know this is my last time.
no, she'd be like, my mom likes doing hair though, thank God. So she's just my stylist. I'm just gonna call her my stylist and not my mom because it makes it seem more like adult-like instead of saying my mom's gonna twist my hair. So yeah. Anyway, all right, hell yeah.
That sums me up.
All right, Khalil, you want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do an introduction for my month in review. It's only one thing
Okay.
because I need people to understand the magnitude. I wrote out a full script. 22 movies.
Oh my God.
20 plays, 8 TV series. His movies have grossed $1.6 billion
Oh my God.
worldwide. Without further ado, Tyler Perry has become the first African American in U.S. history to own a studio. At 330 acres, it is bigger than Sony, Paramount, Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers combined. He invested $30 million in 2015 and a cumulative $250 million since to own what used to be Fort McPherson, an Army base that was a Confederate base at that. He named 12 sound stages after Black Hollywood icons, including Oprah, Whoopi Goldberg, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Sidney Poitier, whom Tyler Perry adores, Harry Belafonte, and the late Diane Carroll. So I saw this tweet, one thing I wanted to bring up before we all started to talk about how lit this is, from Juicy J that said, Tyler Perry is a genius. He bought his own land, built his own production studio, bigger than any Hollywood studio, and he owns it 100%. And he said, let's wake up, people. So I was like, now ownership is key. Absolutely. But when we talk about waking up as it pertains to Tyler Perry's legacy, I wanted to emphasize how much Tyler Perry acknowledges those who helped him to get where he is, including our ancestors, living legends, like him naming all 12 of those studios after living legends and, you know, the late Diane Carroll. And he always talks about how his supporters and his fans helped him to get where he is. And I also wanted to highlight how much he gives back. So I remember watching Madea Goes to Jail, the play, and he talked about at the end, he was like, if you've ever bought one of my plays, attended one of my shows, or bought one of my movies, you yourself have contributed to Hurricane Katrina, and I've done a donation in your honor because you supporting me is how I was able to do that. Tyler Perry is also going to build an LGBTQ and trafficked homeless women and girls compound on the 330 acres where they will live. They will get business, education and business so they can re-enter society. And there was a couple other things too. But I brought that all up to say that when we talk about waking up, I wanted to talk about it more from the standpoint of not necessarily, just own things and build a legacy, but it's like create a legacy where you're giving back to people and you pay homage to those who came before you. So yeah, that was my month in review. 330 fucking acres, man. And $250 million. That shit is lit. And if this little black girl watched all them black celebrities go over to that studio and I was just amazed. I posted in essence his entire story inside my story because I was like, no, you people will know that this is a moment. Michael Ealy was saying that of all the studios he's ever been on, that it's a completely different feeling being at Tyler Perry's studio. Like it just doesn't feel the same. He was like, you go to their studios and it's all these white people on the walls, and you go to Tyler Perry's studio and they're all named for black icons. Tyler Perry also has his own Star Walk of Fame. And he put all the people that have ever been in his productions on the Star Walk of Fame, which I thought was so dope because we don't get the accolades that we deserve from Hollywood. And Tyler Perry himself talked about feeling like he wasn't a part of the Hollywood landscape and being left out because of the audience that he chooses to make his productions for. So essentially, I just wanted to talk about Tyler Perry because I'm just so proud of him. And he turned his wig into a fortune.
Okay. Come on.
So what has your lace front done for you lately?
Okay. And so something that we kind of talked about, Sydney and I, when we were talking about like what topics we were going to cover is, the people that can never be satisfied. Mm-hmm. The people who say, oh my God, 300 acres and houses up the code, you could be housing so many homeless people. And it's just like, girl, what are you doing for homeless people? It's just like, you think because this man has millions, he should be doing this instead of having ownership. Like that's the point, people. Like, we have to change systems. Like, we have to be in ownership in order to affect more change. Also, if you don't think that he's done anything for homeless people or people in need in general, you don't know anything about Tyler Perry in the first place. But also to say that if you don't know how to budget your money. If you're a hundredaire or a thousandaire or a millionaire, if you don't know how to budget that money to help your community, you wouldn't know how to budget Tyler Perry's money. If you can't take $5 out of your salary to help the homeless, don't try to tell somebody what they should do with millions or thousands or whatever. Like, you don't become better at budgeting money and, financial literacy because you have more money. Like, if you have more money, you're just going to be paying for more unnecessary things. Just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean that you're not going to be living check to check. So, to that we say a big fuck you to anybody who has something negative to say about Tyler Perry in this light. Like, all of the beautiful things that he does for his community, and also seeing his name, like Tyler Perry Studios next to Sylvan Road where he was homeless when he was pursuing his dream. Like, that is so beautiful, and it's so very, like, just to look at it, to me, says what is meant for me is going to be for me. And I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. Because why else would my name be beside the road that I was also homeless on? And I own all this land. Yeah. Like, congrats to Tyler.
Acres, man. I don't know how big
Mr.
it is,
Perry,
but that shit is huge.
I might have to slide up in some auditions or something.
I can't even, like, think about how much land that is.
Yeah,
it's big enough that, so this was just the first expansion, was the 12 sound stages. He plans on building a small European town, and a 6-lane highway. And a lake, amongst other things.
He said, we will not be needing green screens over here.
Right. So that's how big it is. It's big enough for 12. And I heard that apparently the soundstage just got bigger. Will Smith was on he was on an interview, and he was like, I was impressed by my soundstage until I saw Oprah's soundstage. And I was like, hell yeah, I bet Oprah's soundstage big as fuck. If it's got Oprah name on it, it's probably huge. But I'm sorry, what were you saying? You were saying something.
I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's all right.
Was
Was the 330 acres overwhelming your brain? Cause
it was. I was like,
I don't know how big that is, but I don't know how big an acre is. So I damn sure don't know how big 330 acres is. Like, true. I wish I should have looked up a scale. Like, how big is ECU in comparison?
I don't think I'm the best at it, but I think that your house is probably on like an acre, maybe an acre and a half.
Then that's a lot of land.
Yeah, so 300 of those.
Right. And he said a 6-lane highway, which I don't know what in the fuck you need a 6-lane highway for production-wise. I guess you wouldn't have to block up a highway somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I was just like, damn, man.
Afford it,
and
so
that's $250 million so far. So I'm just like, woo, first of all, again, Tyler Perry turned
And something else we talked about was like, who knows when he had this vision? But think about how long it took him to get there, because not only do you have to buy the land, but you have to clear and get all these codes and this, that, and third, and then start production, like building all these studios. Even if you had all the funds instantly in your hand, it would still take a long time to build all those studios and houses up to code. Yeah. But I would imagine I don't know, because I haven't seen the information anywhere, but I'm like, he might have bought this bitch an acre at a time. I don't know. Like, he could have bought this one at a time, like, maybe I'll spend half my money feeding the homeless, and then, take a piece of it and buy an acre every year until I get this dream that I have, or whatever. And I just think that's really dope to have that vision, and also just literally to create it. So it's physical. It really manifests.
And
that's
you have
really
to be
dope.
very future oriented to do something like that.
And you know what? When all those white people were like, oh, we're sad about LGBTQ, we're going to leave Atlanta and not produce here anymore, Tyler was like, yeah, fuck what y'all talking about. Atlanta is good to me. I will be keeping my black ass here. And for all we know, he one of the very last production companies.
That's actually literally what the fuck he said. He said, you don't put $250 million into the ground and get up and leave. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that shit, but I ain't going nowhere. And I was like, respect. Because let me tell you something. Anybody who would have something negative to say about that, I would have to go, and how much money have you put into the ground in Atlanta? Because if I put $250 million in there too, I would have to go, I don't fuck with this legislation, but I just finished my sound stages. Fuck that. And he just turned 50 like last month. So he did his birthday party and his Tyler Perry studio opening. Let me tell you something. This shit is so ridiculous. Did you see the invitations? Mm-mm. They were like iPads, but they came in like royal boxes. Like, the box was like red with gold shit on the front, and then you open it up and it's Tyler Perry going, hello, I'm about to open up my studio. I want you to come. 50 Cent, of course, 50 Cent posted it. And he was like, damn, I'm damn sure going. And I was like, and he was, Tyler Perry was doing an interview, and he had invited whoever the host was. I can't think of his name. I think it's Jimmy Kimmel. And he was like, damn, how much was the invitation? And he was like, well, you didn't come. So, I mean, I wasted money on that one, essentially.
Who said that?
Jimmy Kimmel was like, because the invitation was so ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
And he was like, yeah, I sent out 400 of those. And I was like, the invitation alone is probably enough to buy and sell me as a person.
Okay.
Like, all 400 of them
all
together.
Of my debt as well.
Cumulatively, I'm just like, Lord have mercy. But you know what? Fuck it. You have worked hard, sir. Your invitations can be a TV if you want them to be.
Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel said he would give him his TV off the wall because he didn't come, and he felt like that would be payment for his invitation and all that stuff. So yeah, proud of Tyler. We were trying to roll up at the Dream Studios, which is I think that's one of the names of them, or maybe the whole thing is called Dream Studios.
No,
but
I think that's just one building.
just one building. I will be rolling up at Dream Studios like, hello, you have all this space. Can I just hang a light somewhere?
Hey,
Or-
Tyler, after you listen to this episode, be on the lookout for Sydney because she'll be pulling up. Hey, she might be sleeping in a blue car out front. Yo, shit. So-
Right,
so-
hell yeah. So I can put a sign up that said, I was sleeping at Tyler Perry Studios 50 years ago. Well, hopefully not 50. My God. Yikes. All right, well, that wraps up my month in review.
Kelly IA.
So my month in
Kalia.
review is not as exciting
Okay.
because I felt like y'all brought me on here to talk about the things.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the thing I wanted to talk about, first of all, shout out to y'all because somehow y'all managed to put climate change into every topic. And I'm
Oh, do we?
listening, and I'm like, how the heck did they get the climate change? Okay, let's go with it.
Right.
Great.
Hey, we will talk about the things.
Yeah, we will.
So I
Everything
wanna-
is interconnected.
It is. And so I wanted to talk a little bit today just to make sure that the listeners are aware that there is this thing called primaries going on at the local level, and
What are
people are
those?
Right.
running for office for, to be the president of the United States. And I think that's pretty important because if 45 stays in, this whole planet's going to burn up.
Oh, it's going to burn up regardless.
It's over.
But yes.
It might already be over.
Okay. 31 years, honey. We ain't got time to waste.
But I wanted to specifically talk, we're here in Charlotte, and so people don't realize. So we just had like the primaries back in September. So if you didn't vote, never mind.
Everybody spam Kalia if you don't know who to vote for and what to do. That's what I do.
Oh yeah, Kalia will send you the
Kalia.
list, the unbiased list that is probably for your actual benefit, because people will vote against their benefit.
Right. Yeah, I do some research. Not an expert, but I do my research. So in November is the actual real election. So people, you have to vote again. We're not done.
Okay.
So make sure there are some candidate forums happening. There's one happening tomorrow that is led by high school students at Northwest School of the Arts. So that's local to Charlotte. If you're not here,
nice.
just know the things go on in Charlotte. It's pretty cool, even though we also have a lot of racists here. Not going to talk about it. But I wanted to, I know a lot of people.
that just cut me off in traffic on the way here.
She was racist because she cut you off?
No, but that's probably a byproduct of racism, I would think.
I see.
You cut
It
the
is
black
all
girl off.
interconnected.
It is all interconnected.
It's a system, people.
But I know that people look to see who's Kalia looking at for the presidential campaign. So I just want to throw out there so that people know that at this point I'm unashamedly going with the white woman that is Elizabeth Warren for president.
The white woman that is Elizabeth. Over Bernie Sanders?
Over
I am
Bernie
shook to my
Sanders.
core.
Ooh.
And Sydney,
I'm about to fight you.
know.
It's
About to get spicy.
Sydney, you remember when I first found out about Bernie Sanders and we just started watching his videos and we're like, yep, Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have crossed over
Done that with Elizabeth
to
Warren.
the other white hope.
I thought you said the other white hope for me. I was like, Jesus
did
Christ.
she not?
No, she said the other white hope.
Hope.
But I say that because if you look at Elizabeth Warren and the policy, she's got something for literally everybody. Like the poor white people, the black people, the people who are trapped in concentration. I mean, the immigration detention centers.
Oh, I mean,
Sorry, slip of the tongue.
But, that
She's
happens.
got stuff for black people. If you have student debt, people, she has a plan to pay off 95% of people's student loans.
Wow.
Yeah, it's legit. And she has actual plans, not saying I'm going to do this. You can go to her website and read an actual policy proposal for I think she's up to 50 different plans that cover a bunch of different topics. So I love Bernie. He's great. And something about him, it does not help that he had a heart attack. I
Oh
wish
my
him,
God.
I
No,
wish
we
him
are
the
not
best.
here.
I know.
You know, Donnie said that he is the most healthy and fit president in the history of presidents.
That's what he said. Ugh.
Oh my God, looking like the actual pumpkin.
I know. I feel bad because you should not count that against him.
So Kalia's ageist is
Not
what we're going to get out of
ageist,
this conversation.
Essentially.
But
How old is Elizabeth Warren?
she's 70.
Oh,
I bet you didn't know that if you looked at
Her
her.
young ass.
That woman stood
president.
outside. Did you know that after every rally she goes to, no matter how many people are out there, she will take a selfie with each individual person.
I don't care about no selfies.
I'm just
I
saying.
also would not want a selfie with her. I touched Michelle Obama, okay?
Well, listen, everybody can't do that.
I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying, people should really be paying attention to the candidates. I'm not saying you have to vote for Elizabeth Warren, but this election is probably the most important election of our lifetime as millennials
Oh, wow.
because of climate change. So essentially, you all talk about the fact that There's, some scientists say 11 years. Some say we're down to 8 years to do like very big dramatic.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
No, I have, and
Yeah.
that's why everybody said, I'm like, well, we're gonna be dead in 8 years.
I thought it was 30. I've been saying we're gonna be dead in 31.
Whoo.
Well, so basically.
Oh yeah, but I think that was before the fires.
Oh, I thought that was after the fires. Oh God, you people are trash. Not
Yeah,
you
I mean,
listening,
essentially what they're saying
Ugh.
is if we have not already implemented dramatic system changes to our transportation, to the way we eat, to the energy we use, we have 11 years to completely change those things and erase a lot of like the effects. If we don't, after that, there's going to be a certain threshold, and once we cross it, even if the day after we fix everything, the Earth we will have done irreparable damage to the Earth.
Oh, I believe that.
So
Wow.
basically, like the way things are right now, if we keep going, our children will never experience anything like this. And we've already noticed that our childhood or our adulthood, like as far as the temperature, is completely different than when we were growing up.
Yeah, my mom would be like, I ain't never had no hot October like this before.
Yeah,
I'd be
like-
mm-hmm.
It didn't rain in Charlotte for 3 months.
Oh wow.
When was this?
Like we just got our first rain. It was a record. Don't quote me on how many days.
Oh, wow.
But it was over. I know it was over 2 months without rain. So if you look, Charlotte has like a lot of local farms in our surrounding areas. They did a news story, and it was this farmer who's outside of Charlotte, and every October they do like the pumpkin patches, and they have apple orchards. So they have all these things. That's how they make their money. The news went to their farm, and the farmer was like, "Look at this." And they zoom in on this apple. The apple is like the size of like, I don't even know how to describe this.
Like a little bit over a quarter?
Yeah, like you could pick it with 2 fingers. Like you can pick it off the tree. The apple is dead. And they're like, look at this. This is how I make my money, and it's all dead. It was depressing. And so
Sydney, why are you so weak? We're all gonna die.
Y'all already, if you follow me on Instagram, you already saw what I be seeing in my head when people be talking. And the last time I used to talk about horses, I saw Madagascar. So you gotta, if you could see how dead this apple is in my head.
No, it was shriveled. It was sad. And he was like, this is how I make my money, so I'm planning to move. Like, y'all won't have this pumpkin patch for me next year.
Oh my god.
That is very sad. I'm not laughing at him or his predicament. I'm just laughing at the presentation of the story.
Yeah, it was a bit dramatic. They were like, look, the leaves didn't change
Was it a
color,
hard
they just
zoom?
died.
Was
It was a hard zoom. It was hard.
I would have been weak.
Like, you hear him say, look at this, and it's like,
Zoom.
Oh my god.
That's perfect. I love hard zooms, y'all. I fucking love hard zooms.
but I
That's
say all
funny.
that to say, like, when you all talk about climate change, I'm going to make one point, and then we're going to move on.
Okay.
Because it's for black
Hell
people,
yeah.
I feel like sometimes we take for granted when we're talking about climate change. It's like, yeah, we hear that, but we got other issues to worry about. Like,
No,
we got to worry about.
Yeah, because I be over here like, it is white people's fault. They're the one emitting it all. So
Right.
I'll be over here minding my business because I have my drawer full of reusable plastic bags in my house.
Which
I don't
is
know what
true.
white people, I don't know what y'all do with y'all's. And I also try to travel with my reusable bags to the store.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
I keep
And
them in my car.
not enough.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, y'all emitting all this shit. We got to worry about being able to live and sell water on the street
Yeah.
and maybe Lucy's every now and then. So y'all need to worry about climate change. While
Right.
we trying to figure out how to live.
But the problem is, if we black people don't start organizing in the streets and everything we do for like police brutality, it's only going to get worse. And so people of color, particularly black people, don't realize that climate change is going to, I'm trying not to use a big word, exacerbate.
God damn, our listeners are smart.
No, I was just trying to.
Just because mostly me, I use 4-letter words. There are intelligent people that listen to the podcast.
You're right. So
What word
hit
were
us
you
with the
gonna
big ones.
use?
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Climate-
we got the Thesaurus app on our phones.
Wow. Climate change is going to exacerbate all the issues that people of color are already
good
fighting for. So when we think about police brutality and how every single day we got to come on here and be upset because somebody else is killed, climate change is going to make that worse. Because when you think about police brutality, it's often happening in urban cities, right? So right now, we're seeing people flock to cities like Charlotte because for a number of different reasons, but part of that is because they lived in cities like New Orleans and Houston, and they're tired of being hit by hurricane after hurricane after hurricane. So they come into the city, which creates more fighting over resources. So if you are poor in Charlotte, with all of these new people coming into Charlotte, that's more competition for your jobs, for the limited resources that are here to help people who are struggling financially. And so then when you have more poor people in concentrated areas, there's more crime. When there's more crime, there's more police. When there's more police around black people, there are more dead black people in our communities. So even understanding that all of these are connected and climate change is going to make things worse, it really should be one of our top priorities that we're organizing to make sure that when we're thinking about solutions to police brutality, we're including things as far as like economic resources to make sure that people who are already struggling can get out of their financial situations. We know Charlotte is 50 out of 50th for economic mobility, meaning if you're born in Charlotte, you're most likely to die in poverty in Charlotte just because there are no support systems set up in place here that help poor people get out of their situations.
Wow.
So if we're already at the bottom and you add climate change and all of these other things on top of it, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about. And I know we have some very educated listeners. So
Jesus, do you?
I do. So it's time, I like to challenge people. So I'm challenging everyone who's listening to make sure you're paying attention to make
it's
sure
a
you're
fact
voting.
that everybody that listens to this podcast is already making one intelligent decision for themselves.
That is true. That is
So,
true. Y'all are already
I
above
hope that
average.
y'all are listening and that you are educating yourselves on primaries and basically how everybody liked to turn a blind eye just a few short years ago saying, oh, that'll never happen, whatever.
People
look
love to
at
say
us
some
now.
shit will never happen. I'd be like, are y'all fucking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Did
I
Trump
mean,
teach you
to be
nothing?
fair, it did seem like a stretch. Like, come on now. He just said he could go into Times Square and shoot people and still get elected. Come on, guys. He's out here grabbing women by pussies. And here we are.
Still. So yeah, but people don't have imagination, so nothing is a
true.
far stretch of imagination for me anymore. I'd be like, you know what, I can see that.
anything can happen. So
If they talking about the world ending in 8 years, I could see that.
educate yourselves real quick because you only got 8 years to do it.
Yeah, start now.
Less than a
today.
decade.
Start today. Do it today.
All right, moving on. Blank while black. You know we can never run out of enough topics for this.
Oh yeah.
Sydney, you want to hit us first this time?
Oh sure. My blank while black was about Amber Geiger.
Wonderful. Mine, I think, kind of interconnects a little bit.
Wonderful. So just in case anybody does not know who Amber Geiger is or just doesn't recognize the name,
She's a slut.
She's the former Dallas cop who was sentenced to 10 years for killing 28-year-old Botham Jean in Texas? Dallas, Dallas, sorry.
Texas.
After barging into his apartment and mistaking it for her own. So that's just a brief synopsis of it. But I brought it up because I wanted to have a discussion with y'all about how you felt about all the things.
I just got
the judge, the 10-year sentence. Yeah, all the things. I don't know who wants to go first.
I will say, well, actually, Kalia should go first because her Facebook caption, I was like, same as fuck, same. Go ahead,
What was your
Kalia.
Facebook caption?
What was mine?
It was, if this happens to me and any of my dusty ass family members and friends think that they're going to hug up on somebody and say that they can be forgiven, I hope that you basically drink bleach. That's what I heard her say.
Right. It was a list of petty things. I think one was like, I hope your twist outs never work out the way you want
They're
to.
always wet when you take them down. Always still wet.
Right.
Oh, wow. I guess
things
you're
like
not a
that.
fan of the judge.
So it's complicated.
It is
right?
complicated. It's hella gray, ain't it?
It's very great.
Ooh, child.
Everything is great.
I'm sweating
I
just thinking
also-
about
I
it.
saw black and white.
I
Carry
kind
on.
of feel like I have I say unpopular opinion, not because it is problematic, but it's also because I don't think people really take the time to think about things. So with the judge, I don't think, so she got in trouble for hugging, and if people don't know, the judge was a black judge, and after the verdict comes down, she goes over to Amber and hugs her and gives her a Bible and says, I'll pray for you. And a lot of black people were upset and saying like, why would you go hug this white girl? She just killed a black man, essentially. And so a lot of people were saying, oh, that's weak. Oh, we love white people more than we love ourselves. And I think there's a
She
valid...
also offered them manslaughter. She did
Yeah,
not
about
have to be
that
charged
too.
with murder.
Oh,
She offered the jury that they could, it could be manslaughter.
Well, So apparently there is a like different definition than most people understand when it comes to what is the legal definition of manslaughter and the legal definition of murder. And that's why apparently we have such a hard time getting these people convicted of murder when they do kill these black men, because murder has to be with intent. Like, oh, I thought about this, I'm going to do it. Premeditated is what it seemed like it came off to me as, whereas manslaughter is an accident. To me, it seems like it would be much easier to prove in court that some shit was accidental than it was murder. So in that particular case, me playing devil's advocate right now, maybe her goal was to actually see this woman be convicted, because if we say murder, like, it might be harder to say, oh, she thought about that shit before she did it. But manslaughter, oh no, we can say that shit was an accident. Argument,
like, well, she was probably just trying to make sure that it couldn't be repealed. Like, she just wanted to get her charge, get her sentence, and get it done. Which would make sense had she not given her personal Bible and gave her a hug and said she was gonna pray for her, and whoever the fuck else was stroking her hair in the courtroom. Like, everything about that pissed me off to my core. So then to be like, well, she probably just wanted to see it through. I mean, that would make sense if that was all that would, like, okay, you could do manslaughter just because we have got to get this woman convicted. She has got to go.
Yeah.
But then you over here
but
playing
see,
with her.
For me, I feel like most people got like a sound bite of it, because when I went back and read like a full article on it, it wasn't just, oh, she went over to her. That wasn't even the first person she went to. She always goes and hugs the families of whomever is like on the defense or prosecute. I guess you can go either way.
But to me, that says, let me slap you in the face in front of you.
No. I'm talking about, like, say it was your Botham Jean's brother. No, she went to the family of him first and gave him a hug.
Right.
But that's what she.
Don't bring your arms over to me if you're going to take those same dusty arms and go hug the murderer of my brother or my son.
Right. But say that to say she normally hugs people who are the murderers and stuff too. But it's normally after they finish their sentencing or their alcohol train, whatever. So that is literally this woman's. That's her shit. Her shit is she. Like, I was reading an article that said that she literally has the Bible sitting on her laptop because before she works, she prays first. So when I read about her and who she was as a person, I was like, everything she did to me sounds like she was coming from a place of love. But if you do not know her full story and all you get is a soundbite, oh, that bitch went and hugged that white woman, but you didn't know she hugged the family first. You didn't know that she always hugs these convicted people, because she really believes that people can be redemptive. And so people were saying, because in my personal opinion, my opinion on this was, I don't want to be like white people. That is white people shit, to not have no mercy, to go to fucking jail and give a fuck about you. I'm like, we've always been better than racist white people. Did y'all seen that picture of black doctors trying to save that Ku Klux Klan member? Like, I'm like, that's always been our shit, and I don't think we win.
Not better. I would have sat back with my scalpel and be like, I suddenly do not remember a goddamn thing.
I think you win when you let love be. I think Martin Luther King would have. I think Martin Luther King. Now I do not know him, but if I
would have slept with her.
No, wow, okay, intense. Yikes! I was gonna say, I think Martin Luther King looked down upon that and went, I'm proud. Now Malcolm X on the other hand might be like, eyebrow raise. But I just said it to say, when I read her full story, I was like, this woman sounds like to me like everything about her existence is love. So I can't be mad at her, because she was saying that she even felt bad about second guessing whether to hug her, because that she should have just did it off gate. And I was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And then mind you, again, see, the other reason why I'm more so not so angry with the judge anymore is because, we talk about penitentiaries coming from the word penitence, meaning when you come out, you're supposed to be whole again. And that is literally this judge's MO. Like, she wants people to go to jail, but be better when they come out. Like, she don't seem like the type of person that would be, nope, fuck you, don't give a fuck, I hope you get your ass beat in jail. Like, she actually wants this woman, and mind you, isn't that what we want? Because she go to jail for 20, 30, 40 years, get out and still kill another black man, then what was the point of all of that? And this white woman probably still...
Well, I hope she gets reformed in the 5 years that she's
I know, right?
But she's certainly not going to serve 10.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I definitely had a problem with that, but I guess that's not the judge's problem, because I think they said the maximum they could have gave her was 99, but the minimum they could have gave her was 2.
Yes, no, the minimum I think was 5, but it's like you literally barely went over the minimum. This black man's life was barely worth over the minimum.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that jury was like very racially mixed.
It was
like Asians and blacks, and like I think there were less whites than anything on the jury,
and
then even that count, which pissed me off, because I read that the whatever her, so that would be the defense for her. Yeah, the defense was trying to get it moved to another county, or they were saying that they were probably doing that because the county is so racially diverse. And I was like, no, bitch, you know what you're going to learn today, white woman, is what it feels like for all these black people that do not get juries of their peers. Okay. So let me know how this appeal goes for you in the justice system, but you can sit right here and deal with what the fuck we deal with all the time. So, okay, that was all I had to say. Go ahead, Khalil, I'm sorry.
But no, I think the reality of why like people respond more so with Aisha is because I don't think it's as much about the white girl getting the compassion. It's the fact that we know black people do not get the same compassion.
Right. And I understand that, but I don't think we win by becoming like these racist ass white people. Like, to me,
I agree.
I was like, you know what? Like I said, once I read her full story, I was like, this all sounds like love. And I feel like
always to me, hey, turn the other cheek now.
Yeah.
What would Jesus do? Come on, Jesus would want us to turn the other cheek and be better.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be better than bad people. Yo, fuck that. I ain't your docile Christian over here. I'm not doing all that. I'm not turning no cheek to that.
I could leave Jesus out of that completely. Like I wouldn't
Right,
thinking,
but I'm saying that's the coaching that we get. So
Yeah.
by her saying, here's a Bible, I'm
Yeah.
going to pray for you. To me, that just says, yeah, Master will want me to turn the other cheek and be, better. Just because it literally says in the Bible, like, just because somebody beats you and spits on you doesn't mean you should do it back. You should turn the other cheek and give them love and mercy. And I just be like, yeah, girl, I'm going to skip over that passage right there.
Yeah, and
It's
see,
not
that's what
gonna
I'm saying. I
happen.
think that when we realize that everybody's operating based off of their experiences and what they read, like, I would like to think, and I could be wrong, I know, Kalia, this applies to you, but would you say you've become disillusioned to the church or to the Bible?
I don't think. I mean, I'm not religious.
Okay.
Like, I don't be like, oh, the Bible is super holy, super precious. Like
Okay.
how I feel about people burning the flag when they're mad about a black person being murdered is how I feel about the Bible. I just like, meh.
Okay. So this woman, though, this is her existence. This seems to be her basis. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I don't think I can blame somebody. And it's especially not in this particular case because, like I said, once I read about how she literally operates through the day, and then once I read again, this wasn't the first time she's done that. Oh, I'm going to hug the bad person shit.
Yeah,
bad
I
person, quote
think
unquote.
I need to see some photographs of her hugging a whole lot more murderers.
But I think that's the point that did frustrate me, which is why I wrote that Facebook post. If you want to forgive somebody who murders me right after they do it, that's your own thing. I'm dead. But
Ooh, I just feel like forgiveness takes it's a process. I feel like y'all forgave very quickly.
But don't do it on camera. So the fact that
Yeah.
the first news story that comes out after the conviction, you see the black sheriff stroking her hair and you see the brother
that
talking
part was
about
weird.
giving her a hug. I don't blame the people involved as much as I blame the media,
Oh, yeah,
and
there's
particularly
that.
white people, because they said, oh my gosh, look, here goes black people being nice to us. See, black people, you can't be mad because they're not
Yeah,
mad.
because they're not mad and it was their family.
Exactly.
So,
So it's like, if
Yeah.
you want to forgive, that's on you. I'm not going to judge how you heal. Because, you
Yeah.
know, all of those people who were involved, even if you're just witnessing the trial, like, you have to heal from that. It's traumatic. I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah.
But
why do we have to make a show out of it?
Don't make a show out of
Yeah.
it. Because now you got white people who can walk away and say, see, I can kill you. And
I
you
still
don't forgive
murder's
me.
not so bad. They're not even that
Exactly.
mad
I
about
still
it.
blame the media for that though, because
Yeah,
they
I
could
do.
have been like, this ain't even worth reporting. But but the media knew
knew.
exactly what the fuck they was
knew.
doing. So I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Now that you bring that point up, I still just blame the media because that hug could have been a very small part of the case. But
Yeah.
media said, oh, a hug. They were ready.
We didn't have to know that.
At all.
Because as soon as you frame it as, oh my gosh, she gets this hug, she has immediately gained her compassion. She has not even done a day in jail yet. And we're
Yeah.
already seeing her as a human being that's flawed versus someone who just
And if
killed
she's
somebody.
already cried and quote unquote remorseful,
They-
then when it comes time for her parole, oh my God, she was good as soon as she got
Yeah,
sentenced.
she was
Of
fine.
course you can leave prison now. Here's a toothbrush.
Yep.
And here's $30.
And
whatever the fuck they give you when you get out of prison.
And even
They'll probably
her,
give her a job back, but
her-
I
right.
digress.
I mean,
Her
I'm
10-year
saying-
sentence
sorry, this
was-
is irritating my freshly shaved scalp.
Ooh.
Okay. But I also just wanted to talk about specifically to the 10-year sentence, which I just thought was insane because I was looking up because I was trying to compare it to the exonerated 5 case, and I was looking and it was like Corey Wise was found guilty of sexual abuse, assault, and riot, and he did 13 years. And I was like, and he did an interview on The Breakfast Club where he said, and if he had not confessed, I'd probably still be in jail right now because it was to life.
Right.
And I was looking at that and I was like, now I don't know if her sentence is 10 years to life or not. I seriously doubt it, of course. But I was just like, this woman got 10 years for killing somebody. And I'm not trying to say sexual abuse, riot, or assault are not horrible
And
things.
is eligible for parole after serving 5.
Right, but I was like, but this man was, and then he went to Rikers. Like I was like, you know, and then when you're watching, when they see us and you see the white men beating him up in prison, they're like, oh, we saw you rape that white woman, we're gonna beat your ass. I'm like, not that I wish her getting her ass beat, but I'm like, I seriously doubt she's gonna be in any serious harm. I thought they're gonna have her away from Gen Pop, like, no girl, you know, just giving her
Listen.
extra protection and shit. And I'm just like, not again. I don't want to wish that kind of shit on nobody, but I'm just like, I just want there to be fairness. Can there be
Right.
blanket
I'm
fairness?
not gonna wish it.
But the fact that Corey had to do it
However,
for
if
some
chickens
shit.
come home to roost,
you know,
God
I'm not
bless.
going to go in there and stop it. I might put some money on somebody's books. But, you know.
You would love to put some money on somebody's books.
Oh, I can't wait. Because whoever sees George
curb stomps
Zimmerman,
her ass.
oh, man. You'll be taken care of.
That's why I guessed a minute ago because I was about to bring it up and I was about to say, ain't nobody gonna touch that dumb white bitch because you know why? George Zimmerman is having
He's
Arizona
walking around.
can and Skittle signing
Yep.
sessions. So
I'm sorry.
yeah,
He does that. That's how he makes money.
he signs packets of Skittles and Arizonas and takes pictures in a Confederate flag T-shirt.
I'm surprised nobody has killed him yet.
Okay.
Not
Listen,
advocating
hey,
for
Jay Z
it,
said he
you know.
would. So Jay Z, I'm banking on you, my brother. Please.
What did he say? He said in a rap.
Mhm.
What did he say? I'll kill. What did he say exactly? You
He said
remember?
he would kill that fuckboy with his own hands, and I hope that he does.
Oh wow.
Because he was threatening him. He was like, well, he would kill Jay-Z. And he was like, well, you couldn't beat a flight of steps, so I will kill you with my bare hands.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well.
Shout out to Sean Carter.
Yeah, that was my blank while black. Does anybody have anything to add, or is everyone? gotten-
Mine is kind of interconnected, so I'll go next.
Okay.
All right. So let us take a journey 30 miles from Dallas to Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, here Dallas again. Jesus Christ.
I know. Like, on this show, Texas is Florida man. Every time we have to talk about Texas, there's some dumbass racist shit going on. So blank while black for me, 30 miles outside of Dallas in Fort Worth, Texas. Officer Aaron Dean goes into the home of Tatiana Jefferson and kills her within about 2 seconds. Was that the one you were going to talk about?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. So you can add to it as you see fit. So if you haven't seen the video, it's so quick. It's just like cringy. So to kind of brief it for you guys, the neighbor saw around 10 o'clock p.m. that her door was wide open. And then I think around 2 o'clock in the morning, he called the cops because he's like, this door has been open for quite a long time. You know, maybe somebody's not home. Maybe they got robbed, whatever. So he calls the cops with a non-emergency request to send the police to check on the house. So the police come. They don't announce themselves. They see somebody in the window. They say, hey, put your hands up, and shoots immediately. So Tatiana Jefferson had just moved into her mother's home, I think, like around January of this year to take care of her because her mother was sick. Her mother was in the hospital. I think this happened Monday night?
I think it was Saturday.
Saturday night. Her mother was in the hospital and is still in the hospital now. So Tatiana was at her mother's home watching her 8-year-old nephew. They were playing video games. And when the police came in and, shot her from the window. From the window. No threat. You weren't even in, like, all the way inside. Like, from the window, you shot and killed a woman in front of her 8-year-old nephew who watched her body hit the floor. Yeah, so he actually was charged with murder and resigned before he could be fired. And bonded out about 3 hours after he turned himself in on a $200,000 bond. So it's just like...
Who paid that?
Who paid it? Right. It's just like, wow, 30 miles from Botham Jean, I think it's like French, Jean's body. Like, now we have another black woman laying dead in her own home, like minding her own goddamn business. Like, it's just like, how come we can't be safe anywhere? Not in church, not in school, not in movie theater, not even in our own homes. And just with it being so close too, I'm like, wow, literally just days later, you white people could not wait to pull another fucking trigger. Like, and I think that's 6 in Fort Worth within this year, I think. And so they're like on track to be the deadliest county or whatever for the year. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get in there. Tatiana Jefferson, I think she goes by Tay, is what they said.
The one thing
28 years old.
The one thing I'll add is the neighbor who called was a black man, an older black man. And his reason for calling, he said, he was hesitant to call, but he was so concerned that something bad had happened, which is why he made sure he called the non-emergency number. So he literally did the best he could and thought ahead to, okay, let me make sure I don't put anybody's life at risk. And so when you see him interviewed, you can see the trauma. And he's like, I'm responsible for this.
Yeah, and he
because I
feels
would have
bad
never called.
for trying to help out his neighbors.
Right.
I don't know why the doors were open. Maybe they were cooking, like we did in our apartment, and then alarms went off, and they had to let the smoke air out of the apartment. I don't know, why the doors were open. But either way, for you as a cop to come with your guns drawn not announce who you are and just start shooting at a person through a fucking window, like that could have been the 8-year-old baby. Like,
Right.
not that it's any less traumatic that it's a 28-year-old woman. Like, I mean, that's pretty close to all of our ages.
Yep.
But it's just like, I could be at home watching my nephew or my godchildren right now, and a cop can come shoot them through a window or me through a window. For them to see my body fall and hit the ground, and now he's hugging his mom at night when she wakes up crying because her sister is gone.
Right.
He's like, Mommy, breathe through your nose, close your mouth, breathe through your nose. It's okay. When he's the one who witnessed the trauma, like, why now does he have to grow up as a young man, like, knowing that the cops mean even if they come to your house while you're playing video games with your auntie that you could die?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's wild to me also, just the idea, because not to bring up Power, because I actually was not going to bring up Power.
Please don't. No.
Oh, I forgot you haven't seen it. Never
No.
mind.
People cannot wait to ruin things.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was that you can call that you have this fear of the cops that shouldn't be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that to me the part that stood out the most to me when you were telling us part of the story was the fact that he literally went, "Oh, but should I? Because I know how that could go bad."
Right.
And then it literally
And
went
it
the
goes
fuck
bad.
bad.
Right.
Like and then the way you worded it too was he was saying like, I was so concerned that something bad had happened and I was trying to avoid something bad happening and call the police, and then something bad happened. And it's just like, what the whole fuck?
Well, we were in college and we kept hearing all these stories, because especially Trayvon Martin, because I think that occurred like our first year of college, and people are arguing on Facebook. Okay, well, yeah, but what are you gonna do if cops are so bad when somebody robs you?
Right.
I don't know. I guess try to figure out how to track them down and get my money back, because you know who I ain't calling? The police. And that's very sad. Like, I can't even utilize my own goddamn tax dollars.
And it's crazy because in my head I'm like, is it getting worse? Like, or is it just always been this bad and we just didn't have social media before where people have voices to talk
feel
about
like
it and have
it
discourse?
probably has always been. I can't say that it's probably getting worse. I think it's just more unfortunate now because we have to hear so many opinions on
Right.
this very shitty thing that happens of people saying, "Oh, but they deserved it, but they had weed in
I
their
wonder
pocket."
how people-
like, they took pictures of a gun that was in the home. It's like, but there was a gun in there. Was it drawn? Did she have it near her? It was literally in another room sitting out that she legally owned.
And it doesn't matter, because think about it this way. If you see somebody creeping through your backyard at 2:30 in the morning, I have a right to have my gun, because why are you in my backyard?
And you didn't announce yourself. But furthermore, right, if somebody's creeping around and I know my windows are open or my doors are
Right.
open, I'm here, I would be terrified. And I'm like, wow, you're really trying to make it look like it's illegal because we're black to own guns. Because anytime you arrest a white person for anything, you don't talk about how many guns they had in their house.
And they be having hella guns.
And it's the
don't they?
same state that wants their teachers armed. So really, the fact that a gun came out at the same time the initial story broke, it's like, you got to be kidding me.
No.
And so leading up to this, I watched a press conference from the police chief, and he's tearing up, right, talking about the situation. But this is what he says. He's like, it's like we're like ants. The police are like ants, and so you build this big. We're trying to build community trust and partnerships, and so it's like building your ant mound, and then somebody comes and steps on it, and you have nothing. So he's talking about how frustrated he is that now that this officer has killed a woman, now he's
Now
upset.
his ant mound is gone.
Yeah, now he's upset that the people don't people don't trust police. It's like, first of all, we never trusted y'all. Like, you never
And not
had an
only
ant
that,
pile.
And the thing is, of course, everybody's not bad. Some people are genuinely like, I want to be here because I want to help people. I'm not really afraid. I can operate in emergencies, whether it means giving a ticket to somebody who's going too fast, or it means I have to respond to somebody who's having a heart attack and I'm the only one who knows, emergency ways to help people, whatever. But it's just like, how are we supposed to trust people like this when y'all all sit around and be quiet and twiddle your thumbs when something like this happens?
Right.
Nobody comes out and says, yeah, fuck that shit, that is wrong, this
Right.
person did not deserve to be here. There are people trying to do good, and it's like fuckheads like y'all who, not that they don't say, oh yeah, there's always a bad apple. Like, of course they say that shit all the time, but it's like, how come y'all can't get on a platform and just like disparage this person who does this evil, heinous crime? And it's just like, oh goddamn, he retired before I could even fire him.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
I read something once that talked about how we have to be accountable, but the police don't, essentially. And I was
Right.
just like, but really though, like, I mean, what's so wrong with saying this was bad and we are sorry? Like,
Right.
why is that so hard? Why do you think? But I've also heard the police are a gang. Nobody calls it that, but that is exactly what the fuck it is.
And I think anytime they talk about this whole bad apple, most of us are good, like, I call BS, because the issue is not people, it's the system.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm way past the point of saying, oh, if you don't want to be killed by police, then we need more black police officers. Are you kidding? No, we need to get the heck up out of there and reimagine the whole thing. Like, burn this current practice of law enforcement to the ground, because it's been put in place to police poor people and particularly black people. So expecting it to do anything else is really naive. Like, it's pretty foolish. So we can't keep saying, oh, it's just bad officers. No, it's a bad system.
I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. I literally the other day was like, you know what? Human beings shouldn't be police officers at all, and neither should they. Shouldn't be judges.
Well, I think they're working on that. So.
But I was also like, but if it's robots,
guns.
Yeah, I'm about to say but if it's robots, they can't be programmed by white people either, because y'all still got biases.
Right.
Which yeah. But I was just like, at this point, like, you gotta think about how many biases a person has. Like, when I was watching Orange Is the New Black, and one of the ladies who was trying to defend herself said, oh, well, hopefully we can like go up in front of the judge after lunch, because they give like less harsh sentences after lunch. And I was like, the fact that that's a fucking fact, and it literally is a fact, I've read it before, is a point to the fact that human beings should not be deciding the fate of another. Yeah. Like the juror, when I was reading about the exonerated 5, there was one juror who was saying that for the last 30 years, the thing they have regretted most in their life was the fact that they did not hang the jury, because there was enough reasonable doubt within themselves to say, like, maybe they didn't do this, but they didn't. And I'm like, and he had to go to jail. And so I'm like, for he to go to jail for 13 years to Rikers Island, fucking worst prison on the planet, I think, or at least in the United States. And so again, like, it brought that up just to say that human beings have no business being on juries. They have no business being judges. They have no business being police officers, in my personal opinion. So that's where I'm at on that for me.
All right. So moving on to Sounds About White,
which is your I think it's your favorite section of the show.
All right. So I have two. Let's start with this fuckhead from South Carolina.
Okay.
He is running for sheriff. He is Republican. His name is Craig Stivender, who in an ad on Facebook, he talked about things that he's done as crimes, because he says, quote, that he doesn't want to be like politicians and hide things that he's done. So he's just going to go ahead and spit it all out right now, because honesty is going to get me elected.
I can appreciate that so far.
Okay. Well, Craig talked about how he drove without a license and, stole little things here and there, lost his temper, got mad on the job, lots of really shitty things. And then also inserts a picture of himself and says, I went to a party.
Oh, God.
A Halloween party 10 years ago. It's only 2019, so 2009. Craig's dumbass thought it would be okay to go as Big Meech in blackface. And so he says, not, I am sorry, I apologize. Those are, bad things. Just I want y'all to know, because
I'm just throwing
I know they're going to dig it up. So I just want y'all to know I did blackface. Doo-doo-doo. Like, no, I'm sorry for that. It was wrong. I've learned that was insensitive. It was racist. No. Just, here you go. I just wanted you guys to know.
Right.
The end.
I bet he's up in the polls too.
And he just...
I can appreciate that honesty, but I just wish I just need him to, on top of the honesty, be like, and these are why these things are wrong.
And then, so, when people dress up for Halloween, I don't like Donnie, right? Okay, but I'm not going to dress up as him. Like, hey, look how scary I am. I'm Donald Trump. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me, to dress up like somebody I just don't like. I don't know. But he was like, no, I dressed as Big Meech because he's a kingpin. And I felt like, that was going to disparage his name. It was just going to disgrace him. Yeah, that's what we needed. For your white ass to come do that for us. Thank you very much, Craig. Fuck you and your whole lineage. All right. Sounds About White again. So I don't know what it is with white people and horses. Y'all are on some shit for real. So a Norwegian teen, I think her name was Pia or something like that. Had a horse. It died last year because it was ill. His family cut it up into fillets and had it in the freezer. And she decided, if anybody's going to eat my horse, it should be me. And she ate it. Her and her family, they grilled that bitch up and they ate it. And she said, and quote, it was the best meat I've ever eaten.
Wow.
Couple things. That's fucking weird. It's not any more weird to me than eating beef, because to me that's the same. But you filleted up your pet horse, put it in the freezer, and a year later said, I think I'll eat 6 pounds of this today. you know, put it on your plates, right? And proceeded to eat it, even though you said and you know that it died because it was ill.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
You are eating illness on purpose? What in the holy fuck is wrong with you white people and horses? What do y'all have? Like, I'm just thinking about Flirty on that plane. And like this woman landing to her destination and saying, I'm about to fillet this bitch up and grill it later. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Maybe that's natural selection working things out for us. Like, maybe we don't need to do anything. We can just keep.
I know God is up there like, oh my God, this some bitch is about to eat an ill dead horse. He's like,
Yeah.
I literally could not make it easier. I simply couldn't. Like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? But she was like getting death threats, and people are like, oh my God, you're eating a horse. I'm like, I mean, it is a delicacy in like some European countries, some Asian countries, and I would assume she lives in Norway. I mean, I don't know, but I just don't know why you would fillet a horse and eat it. I don't know if you had it with A1 and mashed potatoes. I don't know how you did it, but it just sounds about white to me.
So if I brought you in your past life, not currently, horse meat, you would not enjoy that with me?
People eat deer.
no.
My mama eat deer.
I've had
But
deer.
that's what I'm so like to me. I was like, it's weird because I'm in America, but I do know that you know people eat dolphins, people eat dogs, people eat cows, people eat pigs. Like it's not so much necessarily what it was. It is weird, but it's not like oh she should go to hell because she's out here eating a horse. Like she's not eating a small child, she's
Right.
eating a horse. But I do think it's weird that you ate your pet that was ill.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, it was the illness part because I was like, well, doesn't that mean she gonna get sick? Kind of like mad cow.
Yeah, no, people will be like, oh yeah, pigs have parasites and cancer. I'll eat that. I just think that that's all weird, but. Yeah, so she's getting death threats on Facebook, and I don't know why, but I laughed so hard when I saw that. I was like, I don't know why, but I don't know why you would make a Facebook post, especially because you know how childish people are.
Yeah.
So people put like medium rare steak in a split picture with her hugging her horse. They were like, bitch, fuck you, go to hell. I was just like, yeah, I don't know
She
what
did
made you
kinda
think
set
you should make a
herself up.
post about this.
Right.
That was alarming, but.
People post about everything though.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm like,
true.
I wouldn't just like chef up Diesel. Like, I don't know. Like, I know people eat dog, but I'm not gonna chef up my pet dog and eat him. Like, that's so.
And if I did, I would not tell you. You
right.
know?
If that was something that was really gonna get my rocks off, I simply wouldn't put it on Facebook.
Right.
That sounds like the rest of the shit I see on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is ghetto. There's some fucking disgusting weird shit going on Facebook for sure.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I'm not surprised you put it on Facebook. Now, if you said Instagram, I'd be like,
You put it on Instagram. That's where we have class.
right. But Facebook, I'm like, oh, everything
my
goes up there.
God.
Anything go on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are my sounds about white, blackface, and eating horses.
All right. What's next? It's been a while. I can't remember.
Sexpectation.
Oh, yay.
I gotta have like a cool melody for that. I feel like that's
Sexpectation.
okay.
In a 2000s kind of
about to say that's
world. I'm
literally
glad I
the
got
living
my
single.
girls.
I feel like
Oh, all
that's
right.
They gonna sue
copyright
us.
infringement.
When we get too big, somebody delete this episode.
Right.
Definitely.
But I changed the lyrics. But they
Okay.
apparently you can have copyrights on different parts too. Like you can have a copyright
And
on
I'm
a whole
quite
ass.
sure that part is a
Yeah.
big one.
It is a big
The
one.
whole
But it's Queen
melody.
Latifah. If Queen Latifah tried to sue me, I'd be like, girl.
I don't think Queen Latifah has all those rights, girl. Hello,
Probably
ownership.
not.
We don't
I
have
know,
that.
right? But I would be like, cool. I would just hit her up in the DMs like, Queen, girl, I've been a fan for forever. Help me.
And she'd be like, okay, you gonna
help
Girl, I
me.
wish I could, but my royalty check stopped, so therefore I can do nothing. All right, sexpectations. All right, girls. The question is, out of the 5 love languages, what is yours?
I never got a chance to look it
Damn it, Sydney.
up. I'm sorry.
So I did mine, and I
Okay,
actually,
thank you for doing what you were supposed to do, Kalia.
You know, I try, because I knew if I didn't, you would yell at me like you just did, Sydney. And
yeah,
I did not
Sydney's
want
disgusting.
that.
She knows what she was supposed to do. Matter of fact, what did you end up doing?
I was with my classmates. We were working on our
Fuck
project.
your classmates.
Okay.
Oof.
Well, you haven't met them yet, so. And I talked good things about you to them already. So.
Now they're gonna hear this and be like,
Right. They were like, actually, never mind her. Anyway.
well, you know, I feel like I could at least read them so you can be pondering them.
Okay.
Words of affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sid, you're beautiful. I love you so much. Whatever. Acts of service, doing things for people, maybe taking their car, washing it. Receiving gifts, so, you know, actual physical, maybe material kind of things. Quality time, just hanging out on the couch in a blankie.
Yeah, blankie.
A blankie.
Right.
That
Or
was the
physical
white side, y'all.
touch, getting made out with and such.
It's not just that. You're so dramatic.
Oh, because that's yours, Kalia! What a freak.
It's
Okay.
not. Okay.
All right. What is your love language?
So right now,
You can talk about what you like to receive and give.
That sounded
was
really
very
sexual.
Head and tails.
You are so
Wow.
gross.
Okay, Kalia.
so mine was words of affirmation.
That's your
That's my like top
pitching
love
or you
language.
swinging? I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
That is what I like to receive.
Okay.
Okay.
She likes to receive
Swinging.
words of
I'm
affirmation.
done. I'm done.
Yeah, get out.
But that was interesting because
Is your head cold? I'm sorry. I had to ask.
No.
Okay.
it's warm in here. So
It's warm as
It's like,
fuck.
yeah,
I'm
it's
wearing a
pretty
hoodie.
toasty. About to get that tit sweat over here.
Oh,
You had to tell everybody,
right.
didn't you?
She couldn't help it.
Probably because I put the
People had
toe
to know.
They had to.
Guys,
Okay,
I'm wearing a
sorry.
hoodie and no bra.
Yeah, words
So
of
tit sweat
affirmation.
happens.
Ew, I'm trying to get y'all.
Okay,
off
words
the
of
tit
affirmation.
sweat.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That was interesting because when I did this like 2 years ago, that was not my top one. It was quality time. So it's interesting. I feel like, being in this whole relationship thing,
Oh, because it's LD. Long distance.
long distance, you appreciate. I feel like when you're with somebody, they kind of like help you grow. So certain things I did not like before, like words of affirmation, I didn't care. I know I look good. You ain't got to tell me. But now it's
Talk
like,
to 'em.
oh,
Pop your shit, Kalia.
like, oh, you think I look good? Wow, that's nice. Oh, you love me? Oh, that is sweet.
I have got to be a fly on the wall when these.
Oh my god, because Kalia is not with the shit.
Yeah, that
from the
actually
love
really
you type
surprises
shit.
me. Words of affirmation, that definitely surprises
It
me.
Yeah.
surprised me. I was like, wow.
Because I could see,
that's
like, I love you,
different.
Kalia. Ew.
Yeah, no, that's actually how that goes. I'll be like, all right, Kalia, love you.
Thank,
Bye.
Thank you.
Right. No, she just be
Goodbye.
like, bye. I'll be like, wow, this is awkward. Luckily for you, I know you love me, so you don't have to say
You don't
it.
have to put my business out like that.
That is how you are, though.
She a stone cold girl over there.
Yeah, I mean, like diamond ice cold.
Yeah, I was going to say her. It's like a
ice,
box of
baby.
ice.
Ice,
I feel
baby.
violated.
Okay, all right. Gonna get all of our episodes pulled.
Right. What's yours, Aisha?
Oh, wait. That was the only one?
Well, that was the top one.
Okay.
Do you want to be?
Do you
go
want to
down
talk
the
about
list?
what you like or how you express your love? Is it through words as well?
I
Can't
like
be.
to think so,
Can't be.
but I'm not. The
I
best.
smell a lie here.
Right, right.
I'm not the best like verbal communicator,
Uh-huh.
but I am like the type of person. I'll send you a nice text.
Okay.
I've
So
never
like
gotten
even
one
some
of
of the
those.
yes you have, and like even you like I think some of the things that I'll send you randomly, I don't know if I could say those like in person. 'cause
Yeah,
it
I've
makes
never
me
heard the
feel
words in
weird.
person, but I do get nice texts from you sometimes when I think about it.
Yeah, so I can do that, but in person it's like, do I really want to do this? Because I don't like.
So you probably sit silent in there with your man, and then as soon as he walk out the door, let me text this nigga and tell
No,
him
it's not
everything
like-
I was thinking.
It's not that bad. It's a bit different. But I am learning to be more verbal.
That's lit.
I did not grow up in a household where we were very verbal, so I'm realizing that. So I like me and my brothers be like, all right, stupid, bye. Like that's our way of saying I love you.
I
Y'all
just
got that.
learned Kalia's sister's name. Literally a month
Yeah, you
ago.
should-
I just learned her sister's name.
Yeah, she never called her by her name.
No, she called her mean things.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ratty.
Oh my God! Why would you do that?
See, I wasn't gonna say. I
She
thought,
likes this podcast. Why would you do
She
that?
does. So she's gonna be kind of happy.
I thought about it, but I
Like,
wasn't gonna
let me
say
show her
it.
how much I love her.
exactly.
Yeah, let me punch her in the throat. What's wrong
Love
with you?
tap.
Jesus Christ.
Oh goodness. Okay, well mine, I have two that I feel like are neck and neck.
Okay, I'm excited to hear this. Let me see. Go ahead.
Oh, do you feel like you can guess them?
Tell me what they are again.
Wow.
No, not yours, but tell me what the 5 are. Let me see if I can guess.
Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch.
Acts of service is one of the top ones. Am I right?
Quality time is the other.
And you know what? No,
Really?
What are the other 3?
but it's because I feel like so introverted. Damn it, Sydney. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch.
Is it affirmations?
No,
Oh, well, I've got 2
It's
out
you're
of
one.
probably-
You got one.
Physical touch. You know she's a
You're
Tatiana.
a nasty. No, acts of service is one of the top. That's neck and neck, because I do like to do things for people, and I like people to do things for me. I just like reciprocity. I'd be like, hey, I'm doing this because that's what I want to do, but also I'm showing you how I want to, be loved back. So I'm like, for me, I'll like. I'll wash Mario's like washcloths, like the ones he washes his face and his body with, like from the shower. I'll wash those. I'll wash his pillowcases. I mean, I do like wash all the laundry, but like just throughout the week, I'll just do those things. So I'm like, well, you know, I want to make sure he has a clean pillowcase. You know, he's got to drool on that every night. I want that to be clean. You know, nice clean body cloths. Have dinner ready when you get home. Like, do nice things like that. And then receiving gifts, which
I had a feeling, but I feel like service and gifts were like kind of neck.
Yeah, I feel like those are neck and neck for me because I feel like that's also another. I don't know, because I feel like people can say anything. Like, so for me, like hearing the words, I'm like, yeah, it sounds good. Like I've always like people aren't usually like just blatantly mean to me. Like people usually say what I want to hear, like
because they're scared of you. But you know,
you know, fear-based love. But so like I don't really care. Like as I don't want to say not care, but it's definitely not my top. But like receiving gifts, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, a nice purse or whatever. But like receiving gifts could be like, oh, you were at the store and you saw my favorite ice cream, and you're like, oh, Aisha loves this ice cream, or carrot cake Oreos, whatever. Like, and you just come home with that or whatever.
Is
like
that a thing?
Yes. Would you like to try them? Because I have them.
Of course you do.
You have them in your bag?
No.
In the car?
Oh, I thought you were like in your pocket.
But
right.
No, like
pull out a
little
pumpkin.
Sweet, nothing that are not a big
shit.
deal. So like maybe washing my car, filling it up with gas, or like coming home with flowers, or like even coming home with a car, because that's like kind of physical gift too.
Definitely should have saw that coming.
But I think that my dad was definitely like a big acts of service person, but he's also like would also say everything. I just feel like all the love languages were all of his. Like he embodied all of it, but definitely acts of service for people and words of affirmation were definitely like my dad's way. So I definitely think I got acts of service from him. But yeah, those are my two, and I feel like they're neck and neck. And I don't know how to decide which one is which. But I think some people are different. They like to receive love in a different way that they show it. I think I like exactly what I like to give. I like to receive.
I feel that.
All right, Sid.
I think mine are all of them.
Okay. I think so. No, but it's like, of course, people still like physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation. I still like all those things, but it's not like my top way. Like if I come home and Mario says I love you, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I know. Like I live here. I know. But if you come home with, you know, ice cream or whatever, like I'm like, oh, you thought about me extra today. Like I don't know. It just does something else for me.
Yeah. It's either all of them or none of them.
Okay. Wow, that's not very great at all.
Yeah, I only say that because I
would think that yours.
I'm guessing quality time.
Y'all don't know me.
Because Sydney would literally never be in her own dorm when we lived in dorms.
Wait a minute.
Not that you were out here thought and plotting, but I think that you just genuinely love to be around people that make you happy or make you smile, or that you can make smile, because you be around some boring people, but you know you're a great time.
Oh my God. You know what's crazy? I knew you were gonna say that in one way or another before this podcast was over. Not today, but in general. Aisha literally called my friends microwaves. She was like, "Yeah, well, she is like a microwave," and I was like,
"Yeah." I didn't call them microwaves. I said they were like talking to microwaves.
It was a simile.
Yeah,
I am dead. But you know what? That actually sounds about right. That sounds about right. I do love the people. Because time you can't get back, and I think when you spend your time with somebody, that is literally.
And I think you're always extra appreciative. Like you'll literally hit me and be like, "Hey, thanks for spending time with me today." I'm like, "Hey, I would be nowhere else. This was great." Like I think you're extra appreciative of time that people spend with you.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, that's probably up there.
Yeah. So let us know your love languages via the DM.
Yeah, absolutely. At the living room.
And why? Yeah, why is good.
Yeah. All right, am I going next? So mine.
Are we moving on?
Oh yeah, I mean, was everybody? Okay. Mine could be worded several different ways. It's actually about.
We're still in expectations?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Isn't everybody?
Yeah, I think it was just Kalia that was slipping. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, did you not have a expectation
I thought
question?
you said that we were only doing the love languages. So I was like, oh, well, then I won't.
But that's
think
fine,
about
because we
anything.
got time. You know, we just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Absolutely.
Copyright.
Damn it. This is going to get pulled too.
My question was, so it can be worded a couple different ways. So I might have to explain what I mean.
Okay.
So do y'all think that women value friendship, Or do y'all think that women value friendship the same way as men, or more so do men and women show that value differently? And I say that because, for instance, let me give you a story. Our friend said that she was out at a bar once and her friend like canceled on her last minute because something about her boyfriend. And she looked at the bartender and was like, well, my God, my friend just canceled on me because like her boyfriend. And the bartender turned around and said to her, girl, you never did that before? You never canceled on your friend because you're a boyfriend? And she was like, why is that a normal thing to like cancel on your friends because your boyfriend randomly came up out of nowhere talking about some bullshit or something like that? And so I brought that up to say, because all my close friends are female at this point. Actually, that's not true. I guess the ones who are close physical proximity to me are all female, so I haven't been around men. But I just feel like when I think stereotypically, I'd be like, yeah, no, dudes will hang out with their friends, but girls will cancel on their friends because their boyfriend some bullshit. I don't know, somebody their boyfriend. So stereotypically speaking, and not speaking of the gray, because I do think everything is gray, of course, I was like, maybe women don't value friendship. But it made me think of that question you asked me about why people don't love their friends the way they love their spouses. So kind of tying that in there also, and I'm like, so yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I've canceled before, but not because like I wanted to be booed up. It's because he done blew my mood, and I didn't want to be in a bad mood around my friends.
I can see that, and I think that's understandable. But this was more so like my boyfriend said he want to go out to dinner now. So
No.
So girl, I'll see you when I see you, type of thing.
No, yeah, not in that way, but I have. But I think women value friendships more than men, probably.
But see, and I asked that too because like you ever think about when girls fall out with girls, that shit be forever. We hate each other forever, but dude to be like, damn, they fought last week and now they cool again.
Yeah, but I think I say that because men, from my experience, like to call everything gay and no homo and whatever and pause this and pause that. So I feel like they refuse to show affection and love for one another. So I feel like women are like would be much easier to be like, oh no, I love her. I would do anything for her. Like, this is my sister. Like, whatever. Like, dudes will call each other bro, but they'll call each other their brother and like, yeah, my brother's keeper, but they'll never say I love you. Like, they weird. And also, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that Mario has been like, oh yeah, I talked to you about this and this and this and this because like none of my guy friends like I could have these conversations with. And I'd be like, well, what the fuck do y'all talk about? Itchy balls or something and video games? Like, what do y'all talk about? Because I feel like all the deep conversations are over here with me, which is cool. I like that. But it would just be like, well, what do you talk to your friends about? Because I talk to my friends about the same things I be talking to you with. Right. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do think it's different. Like, I think, again, not speaking, like, trying not to generalize. From my experience, what I've seen, I feel like women have, like, much deeper relationships with each other. Whereas, like you said, guys, it's more surface level because they're scared to be vulnerable with each other because they don't want to seem gay or they don't want to seem weak, whatever the case may be. So when they go hang out with their friends, sometimes it's kind of like one of those mind-numbing things. And I feel like when like women get together, it's not mind-numbing.
No, it's
like
the opposite.
It's stimulating.
They're like, oh, thank God my therapist is here.
Right, exactly.
Which I think is definitely escapism when they hang out with their boys.
Which is why I feel like when you fall out with one of your female friends, it hits a lot harder, and those wounds are deeper because it's a more intimate relationship. Whereas with a guy, it's like, oh, you just beat me in 2K, and I ain't want to pay you your money. You know, like I've literally seen.
Yeah, because I don't really think it's ever over anything deep ever.
I'm weak.
So I think it's different, but I don't think that means that like women are more flaky than guys. I just think it's different because I feel like sometimes, like you said,
I feel like dudes are flaky a lot too because for one, typically girls don't go nowhere by themselves. Like, I'm not gonna go to a bar by myself or to the club by myself.
I will go by myself.
Like to certain things, but not to a club or to a bar. Like, those are things that you would only do like with your girlfriends, like or with your guy friends or whatever. But guys will go to a bar by themselves. They'll go to the club. Dudes will really go to a club by themselves. Like, it's weird.
I think
it's
because they're trying to meet a girl at the club.
Yeah, but don't you want your friends to be there until you do meet a girl? What if you don't meet a girl? Like, I don't know. I think that's weird. But yeah, I don't know. I think girls are better all the time.
Okay. All right. Well, it was just something I wanted to, ask the people.
Well, what do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I just know. So I think I'm starting to realize I wouldn't necessarily say I demand a lot, but like, for instance, when my friend was like, oh yeah, I would be like, my friend canceled on me last minute because her boyfriend or some shit. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck.
So we're all three going
Right.
to dinner?
Right.
Right.
Because quality time.
Right. Which again, that makes sense. That's what you were saying. But yeah, like cause I don't know. I think that there are women who, I think that's again how we get to that whole grade conversation. Cause I think there are guys and girls who would literally flex on their friends cause their boyfriend or their girlfriend was like, oh, let's go randomly out to dinner. And it's like, I think that does show that you don't value your friendship as much as your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both of them are equally important because you don't know which one of these people not going to be here when you need them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep flecking on your friend / keep flecking on your boyfriend, kind of like Khalid, you don't listen to the read. They read a
Get with it. What are you doing?
they read this letter from this girl that was like, what should I do about my friend? Like, she's mad at me because I basically have a boyfriend. But in the way she worded it, she was like, I went out of town with my boyfriend and it was her birthday and I didn't do nothing for her when I got back. And then I canceled on her like a couple times because my boyfriend asked me to do something. But I mean, I don't know why she mad.
Yeah.
And on the read, they were
I
like,
really hate people that are like that, but that's always those hard on my sleeve type people,
Mm-hmm.
which I know a lot of them. That should be a question one day. But like, I know people that are literally be in love tomorrow if they meet somebody at the bar who like says all the right things today. They'll be like, oh my God, love of my life, where have you been? I'll just be like, really? Because I don't love anybody until a smooth 7 months after you're calling me your girlfriend. I'm like, oh, you know what? I love you now.
yeah, everybody does experience love differently. But yeah, so I just brought it up to say I think that there are some people who don't value their friendships, and I think that goes on both sides. When all of your relationships and love are important. And it basically on the read, they essentially tell her like, girl, make time for your friend and stop flaking on your friend for your boyfriend and shit like that. So yeah, I think it's all about balance. Everything in life is balance.
And I don't like people that gotta be up under their significant other. Like, I'd be like, you need something different. Like, I think that's one of the reasons I don't like to go out with Mario. I like to go out with my homegirls, and I'm like, I need a break from you. Like, we live together, we're in a relationship, we talk all day, every day. So it's just like, I need a break from you. Like, I don't need every single second of my life to be up under one same person. But it would be the same way with any of my friends. Like, I wouldn't want all of my quality time to be spent with any one person. Like, I need, because there's gonna be things that I talk about with my friends and my best friends that I don't talk about with him, and vice versa. Like, that's the beauty of having, like, different dynamics in relationships.
How you gonna talk about Mario if he's always in the room? That's the question.
Right. When can I talk shit about you? You always here. Let's go to the club so we can talk shit.
All right. Yeah, well, that wraps up Sexpectations, guys.
Hey, Black on Black support.
With
So this
Kalia.
is the segment where we kind of just brag on people we know, people we don't know, small businesses, friends who are doing great things. Sometimes it could be a celebrity. But today, it is the one, the only one, L. Michelle.
Kalia motherfucking Martin,
Motherfucking
as
Martin.
Samore would say. Do you know why I say that? Samore says that when you work 3 jobs, you sell a little weed on Saturday, they shouldn't call you Jerome Williams. They should call you Jerome motherfucking Williams. So yeah, you do a lot for the community. Okay, I don't
She's saying
care.
you do the thing.
I don't care if y'all don't get it. I love Samore, and if y'all ain't seen her comedy
With some
specials,
weight on.
you should go watch them on Netflix because them shits are hilarious. So Kalia motherfucking Martin.
Kalia, we are Black on Black support you, girl.
So give us all the things and all the deets while we sit here and stare at you.
Right, that is uncomfortable. Y'all know I don't like attention.
Okay, I'll
I'ma
look
just
away.
Pretend y'all not looking at me.
Okay.
I look at my phone.
Yeah, just so y'all know, earlier when I was like looking at my phone, it's because while we were talking, I accidentally deleted my note full of all the things I wanted to talk about today. So I was trying to retype, and I was like, they probably think I'm not paying attention, but really, I will forget everything I'm supposed to say if I don't retype this right now. But yeah, so Kalia, talk to us. My phone is down. I'm looking at you, girl.
No pressure, huh?
Nope.
None.
So I'm assuming y'all want me to talk about my business called Disrupt Transform.
Oh,
Apparently, because you are wearing the shirt, honey. I think that's what you came to talk
yeah,
about.
came to flex on us.
Right.
So basically, I have a business. It's called Disrupt Transform. Disrupt comes from the fact that I am a professional disruptor
Okay.
out in the community.
Hashtag.
If you are not talking about the truth, I will let you know in front of everybody, and I don't care. But the Transform also
My
is
favorite part of you.
the Transform is equally as important, which is why I put those 2 words together for the business, because Transform is about, it's one thing to disrupt the space, but if you're going to disrupt something, you need to have some alternatives. And so
Okay.
Disrupt Transform is my business. It's my personal branding for my approach to community work, my approach to empowerment, saying like, whether we're talking about racism or we're talking about self-esteem, if you want to see something different, you have to do something different.
Okay.
So there's things you're going to have to stop doing, and then there's some things you're going to have to add to your practice, whether you're trying to be famous or whether you're just trying to like get ahead in your career. You have to be able to do a self-check to make sure you're doing the right things and you're not feeding yourself negative energy. And that goes to a community level as well. You can't put out trash and then wonder why your community looks like trash.
Okay.
But more specifically, I think the project that you all know the most about is the project called Black Summer 19.
Black Summer. What is Black Summer?
I had never heard of it.
So Black Summer 19 was a project that I did in partnership with my current job. I'm not going to name the job because y'all not going to get me fired if I say something y'all don't like.
Okay.
Okay.
But I work with
Smart
high school
thinking.
students and I teach them how to do advocacy and how to do policy change. And so we do a lot of work in the climate justice and environmental justice space. So me,
I call her Issa Rae.
right.
Kukulia?
Just think about We Got Y'all.
Oh.
It's kind of like that, except
We
I
Got Y'all.
am not a hot mess like Issa in the show.
Oh, Issa was a hot mess.
So over the past 2 years, we've been doing this environmental justice work. And if you look on TV, when you see anything about environmental justice or climate justice, you're going to see white people. But if you go throughout the state of North Carolina and look at the people who are on the ground actually doing the work to address environmental injustices like water contamination, there's people living outside of Charlotte right now who've been living off of bottled water for over 1,000 days. But we don't know about that.
What the fuck?
Right. It's in Belmont, North Carolina,
Oh,
right
wow.
down the
I
street.
used to work in Belmont.
Because of coal ash contamination, because of Duke Energy and the fact that they're a monopoly and nobody can really stop them. So basically, Black Summer 19 is a project that took a cultural approach to raising awareness about environmental justice and climate justice. So if you're a black person, you feel like that doesn't apply to you, there's a documentary that you can go on YouTube and watch. It is 23 minutes. You ain't got nothing else to do.
Where
Go.
can they find it? Or what can they type in? to
If
find
you
it?
search hashtag Black Summer 19, it's the first video that pulls up, and it's a cultural expression of the issue of climate change, and it shows the connection between climate change and racial injustice, and highlights why both of these issues are important and they're interconnected, and why you should be making sure, if you're a community advocate, you need to be making sure you're advocating for both of these issues, because if not, your work is not going to be as effective.
Every time you talk, I feel like I just need to say from my soul, hallelujah.
So how does it affect black people in different ways than it does with white people?
So people of color they're already experiencing the impacts of climate change across the world, but even in the United States. We can look back to 2005, Hurricane Katrina. So we know that
Right.
we saw the hurricane, and we know that the hurricane wasn't the worst part. It was those levees. So my grandmother who
Somebody
lives
let open.
right, we're not going to talk about that. But my grandmother who lives in New Orleans, she can see Pontchartrain Park. Like, she can see the lake. So her house was underwater for 2 weeks. And if she wasn't she had the means, but she's one of the only neighbors who could come back and rebuild her home. So that was millions of dollars in wealth that now you can see white people living in those homes, and they just put the house on stilts, and now they got solar panels. So those things, we saw George Bush fly overhead, but they did not get relief for over 3 days. We can look to 2017 with Harvey and see what happened in Puerto Rico. So people of color keep being hit by these storms. You all talked about the Bahamas in the last podcast episode. So people of color and poor people are already feeling the impacts of climate change, and we're going to be the most impacted because we don't have the means to rebuild storm after storm after storm.
Right.
So y'all remember when I got stuck with y'all during Hurricane Matthew
stuck.
in Greenville?
God bless.
Right.
It was great, but I also had to drive through a flood.
Yeah.
And tried to drive through a lake.
Right. But so some of those same people who got
You
hit,
got that all in the microphone.
They probably can't even hear that.
no, they can because I can.
Oh.
Yo,
Be
that's
eating
our
her
curry
stinky ass
rice.
food in the microphone.
So in North Carolina specifically, we had Hurricane Matthew, and that was supposed to be a 1,000-year flood, meaning we were not supposed to see a storm of that magnitude for 1,000 years. 2 years later, we have Florence. It hits these same communities. These are black and brown people living in the poorest counties in the state, if not the country. And so now, when we talk about displacement, a lot of those people, some of them, I met a lady who had just finished rebuilding her house because she was one of the few people who actually got her FEMA check. And I saw her maybe 2 or 3 months after Florence, and she was devastated
Oh my God.
because they had just finished rebuilding the house, and her house was underwater again.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we don't think about that in terms of injustice and looking at like where are black people's houses being built in the floodplains. But that's one of the things you're not thinking about when you're buying a house. So Black Summer 19 is just, it's a teaser really, like, because we could have done that documentary for a lifetime just telling the stories, but it's a teaser, it's an introduction if you're not familiar with those issues, from seeing it in a way that we know or that would resonate with people of color. Because if you talk about the science of climate change, I don't like science, I'm probably not gonna care. And so that's been a lot of the feedback from people who watch, is to say, if you would have told me the science, I would have walked out, I would have went to sleep. But now I can see the connection.
And people also don't even necessarily know what it is.
Exactly.
Like, people will be like, oh, yeah, it's hot today. Climate change. It's like,
Right.
that's like weather change.
Right,
like,
right.
Yes, this is hurricane season, but you're not looking at how hurricanes have like doubled and tripled or whatever during these same seasons throughout the
Right.
years. Like, this is something that's, being affected like long term, and it's continuing to get worse. But people just look at it as, oh, it's cold today. Y'all said it was climate change, but
Right.
it's cold, whatever. And they'll be like,
Right.
that's, I dead ass heard Donald Trump say that, so it'd just be like making you cringe. It's like, he's not the only one who thinks this.
He's not.
He really
but
thinks climate is what is today.
I will say 97% of scientists across the world believe that climate change is real and caused by man-made pollution, and America is one of the only developed countries in the entire planet that is still having the conversation of, is climate change real?
Well,
Of
apparently
course we
also the
are.
president of Brazil thinks that as well. So
Yeah, I mean,
there's
we-
at least two dumbasses.
We
in the
slowing
world.
a lot of shit. Like, other people have outlawed the death penalty, and we still got that shit. I just be like, why the fuck are we lasting all this shit? We also last in education too, but I'm gonna let y'all finish.
Yeah, we're last in a lot of things. Like, America is the number 2 polluter in the world.
Of course it is. Why? Because of people like Black China Mama talking about some. Did you see her? No. She running water, and somebody on her live like commented like, "Girl, you running water?" Like, people are like,
It had no relevance to what was going on, but people just like to say anything to celebrities just to get under their skin. She was on live, running her shower in the back, and on live talking about absolutely nothing. And they said, "Stop! Like, turn off the water. There are people dying in Africa," which is people's favorite quote. Whatever
Right.
the fuck that means. But she got on there saying,
But well, this is America, and that's if that's got a problem. If they dying, they need to get a green card and come over here.
and then she also
Wow.
said, like, "Stop talking to me, you old third country, like third world ass poverty bitch, whatever the fuck." She's so fucking problematic and toxic.
Right.
I would
But this
not
is the
want her
same
around
woman that
my
said,
kids.
"I'm ready to get the fuck ASAP."
She is
After this
entertaining, to say the least, but as is Donald Trump and probably Hitler was. So.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof, Chile. Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to the things.
That is the thing.
That's the things. Okay. And while we're talking about the Bahamas, I would just like to say that Tyler Perry said, I went to Italy for my birthday and I had my plane flying to the Bahamas to give them relief. And I was like, he said I had
And
my
that's
plane.
the type of stunting I'm trying to be about.
Right.
When he said my plane, and so of course, like, Jimmy Kimmel was laughing about how rich he is, because he was saying, like, I try not to name drop because then I just don't want people to be like, oh, you name dropping, but he's like, but I am blessed and I must speak about these blessings. And I said, you better say I had my plane giving relief to the Bahamas. I
Okay.
was shook to my core. But anyway, sorry, I just had to bring that up because as soon as you said Bahamas, I was like, damn, I forgot to mention that Tyler Perry got a plane and something else
Tyler Perry got a plane.
humanitarian that he was
Sure, he
doing.
has that.
I mean, can you imagine? You have so much money that you own, not a car, a plane. How do you say plane last podcast? With the horse on the plane? You said pull. I can't do how you did it,
I'm
but
done.
you
You're not
really
gonna make fun of
pronounced
me.
you pronounced the hell out that P.
A plane.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler Perry owned one of them. Okay. All right.
So that means that y'all need to get on the YouTube and watch
Yes.
it. But more importantly, you need to
Hashtag
do
Black Summer
groundwork
19.
within your community, and the very least learn about it and learn about politicians who give a fuck about that shit as well. Because muy importante.
And the last
yeah.
thing I forgot.
Yes.
If you live in North Carolina, or if you live somewhere where your company can afford to fly me out, I also do racial equity consulting. So if your company is about diversity, but they are not making any moves, bring me
Starbucks.
in.
Yeah,
you know.
so Gucci,
Starbucks, H&M.
Starbucks, H&M. Who just had? Oh, that was H&M as well. The messy hair scandal.
Oh yeah.
Which-
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that?
The messy
Can
hair.
we slide in a whole nother topic, or do we not have time?
We have
Oh yeah, we don't have time.
18 minutes.
We don't have time.
Okay. Okay, we ready to move on to mental health check-in?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one for that because I forgot the whole lineup of the podcast, so I clearly was only prepared to do monthly
Well,
review.
I deleted mine, so. But I just wrote something down.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, so thank you, Kalia, Black on Black support. We appreciate you being here. First guest ever.
Thank you. I do feel
Oh,
special.
Kalia Martin is the first African American woman to co-star. Yeah, no, thank you
We
for being
breaking
here.
records
and
too.
hopefully people are, doing
gonna
the
put it on my
things and looking
LinkedIn.
up.
As you should.
Yes,
Has been
man.
featured on the Living Room
We'll get you a
podcast.
trophy
And if
one
you
day.
word it like that, people are going to think it's important. Just if you just say, I was the
It
first guest.
certainly is.
It absolutely is.
So you should put that on
Nobody
your
else
LinkedIn
can
for sure.
ever say that they were our first guest,
Agreed.
Yeah.
but you.
I
And you were the
appreciate it.
second person to see, third person to see Aisha bald.
I do feel special.
That's not true. I worked.
Oh,
Boo. So
Well, lots of people saw
disappointed.
it, but yes.
third important person.
Yeah, the Graham hasn't seen it.
Are you gonna? When are you gonna post that video? Because I just want to post.
I can now.
Oh, okay.
I wanted, to say it on the podcast.
Oh.
Or maybe we should wait till this airs.
Okay. Well, it'll be out either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Oh, who? Okay, so moving on to mental health. This is one that is very special to our podcast. People really like to hear what we have to say about mental health and our affirmations, how we end off the show. So mental health for me, just thinking about like the journey I took and things that were important to me, I just want to say for your mental health, do something different. Like, don't be the definition of insanity and do the same thing all the time and expect a different result.
Oh, okay, Mr. Jones.
Okay, like if you sit in your bed being depressed, eating ice cream, that's cool and all. But as Beyonce said, I give myself 24 hours to be sad and be pitiful and feel sorry for myself. And then I say after 24 hours, okay, but pull myself up by the bootstraps. It's time to do something different. It's time to affect that change. It's time to change things that I don't want to accept. So do something different. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something big and monumental, but if you hate your job, if your job depresses you and makes you miserable, I will say firsthand, quit that shit and you will feel the weight of the world lift off your shoulders.
Hell yeah.
Seriously, if you walk into work, you always, when you see that manager or that person you don't like and they just, they ruin your day, they take your joy, you gotta like dodge them or run into the bathroom so you ain't gotta talk to them and stuff like that. It's just like, if these people are making you miserable, if they're stealing your happy, then you should change that. You can't change the people themselves,
Right.
but you can change your environment. Like, and it sounds scary, like, oh my God, quit my job, but I have bills and this and that. But like, yeah, but you know what you're gonna do to find a job, like, really quickly? Quit when you got some bills paid, because you're gonna find another job real quick, okay? Like, you're not gonna sit on your ass, where it's like, kind of like we get real stagnant and we get like almost satisfied with how miserable we are. Like, you just know that Monday mornings suck balls.
Right.
Like, you just know that. You know you don't want to go to work today, or it could be something small. Like, if your hair depresses you, like if that's something that frustrates you,
Okay.
cut
that
it.
shit
Get a
the
wig.
fuck
Get some
off.
braids. Do something. Like, do something different to help yourself feel better.
Yeah,
Because feeling better is a good thing.
it is. It's so important. What's
I
the point
feel,
of
you
life
know-
if you're miserable?
Exactly.
be
And
alive,
so
be
many
alive.
things can make us miserable. Like, we just think about cops killing people and this, that, and the third. Like, there's so many things that's just like, okay, but what different can I do? I've tweeted,
Right.
I've marched,
Yep.
I've signed petitions, I've made phone calls. What else can I do? Do something different for your mental health. That is mine.
That's beautiful. I do not have a mental health check-in because I just did not.
You don't care
prepare.
about it.
No, I do.
Okay.
I just did not prepare
You're just
well.
making me feel like
kidding.
the star student because I have one.
Hey, Kalia did her homework.
But you didn't have something else earlier, so I ain't
But
forgot.
that's because I told her that we were just talking about love languages.
Whatever.
Try again.
Whatever.
Sorry.
All right, Kalia, what is your mental health check-in?
So my mental health check-in was actually inspired by you
Oh.
and all the greatness that you did over the past
Inspirator.
month.
Is that a thing?
It is if you say so.
Aisha,
We'll let
wait,
you have
that laugh. It is hilarious.
I don't know. I think that's a word, or I think maybe I said it wrong.
Inspirator. I don't
Like
think
comparable
so.
and comparable. I think I just said it wrong. That's all.
Okay,
Yikes.
we'll go with that.
Okay.
But my mental health, I guess, do y'all call them tips?
Check-in, tips, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it, is strengthen your strengths.
Okay.
Oh.
And I feel like this comes from a lot of times we notice all the things we're not good at. And we say, okay, I know I'm not good at this. Let me get better at this, because it makes us feel like if I can only get better at the things I'm weak at, that will make me feel more whole. The reality is, if you listen to a lot of successful people like Oprah, one of my favorites to listen to, and Issa Rae, she said it as well, Will Smith, they've all said once they realized what they were good at, they wanted to become the masters at that thing or the experts at that thing. So if you know you want to be an actress, then you go take some acting classes. Don't waste your time trying to figure out how to be a writer. You know what I mean? So like if you're someone who's interested in starting a business and you know you have a bomb product but you're not business savvy, Why would you waste your time trying to figure out how to do your budgets? Find somebody who will help you so that you can focus on what you're good at and perfecting that.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's a good one. Let me write that down.
Right.
So just make sure like you're not
your strengths.
strengthen your strengths. Don't waste time on the things that you're not good at. Granted, there are some things you need to have to be successful.
Right.
But if you know you have a core product or a core aspect about yourself and that's your passion, that's what you focus on. So Sydney, you know you want to tell stories, you know you want to do film. You went and got into some film classes. That's why you're going to be successful. So people, whatever that thing is that you want to do in the world, whatever you think your purpose is, focus on that. Don't focus on the other stuff. It's taking you away from your purpose.
Beautiful. All right, y'all.
Strengthen your
And
strengths.
we close out our show as usual with affirmations, and I'll go first because I clearly was not prepared today for this podcast. Mine is more so a tip, and that tip is if you can't afford to buy it twice, don't buy it.
Okay? Say that one more time.
If you can't afford to buy it twice, don't buy it. And I brought that up because
With cash.
With cash,
Okay.
not credit.
Yeah, not
okay?
credit.
We're not talking about debt.
And I brought that up because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I feel like a lot of people are doing things outside of their means just to look cool on Instagram, particularly. Like, I think social media has changed the game up for the flex. Like, you taking trips you can't afford because you want to look like your life is so
I wanna be on
beautiful.
Black World Travels.
Yeah,
Instagram.
you're buying cars you can't afford because you want to look cool on Instagram. Just shit that we just can't afford, and it's okay that we're not there yet. Like, again, like, I know I've been talking about Tyler Perry a lot, but I'm like, that man just turned 50, and he now just got his studio 1 month after his 50th birthday. It takes time to accomplish these things. You don't have to go out of your way, whether that be even your business or even your personal accolades or whatever it might be, just to look cool on Instagram. You have to put in time and effort and work for these things, and if you can't afford to buy it twice, then you can't afford it. And I got that from Jay-Z, and it's just something that I've been thinking about myself. Like, I'm getting ready to go to ECU homecoming, and I was thinking about this outfit I wanted to buy, and then I was just kind of like, girl, can you afford to buy that outfit twice? I actually can, which just goes to show you how either poor I am or how I'm trying to do my
Sounds like a
finances.
very extravagant outfit, actually.
It's not that it's extravagant, but I was just like, I would rather save that money because everybody knows, like, if you're close to me, that I'm trying to move in less than a year. And every month and every week and every day that goes by, I get closer to that move day.
Right.
And I would rather be feeling more prepared. And when I've learned from my own past experiences that when my finances are not in place, it can send me into a very dark, depressive place because I'll just be worried about what all could go wrong and how this bill might come out of nowhere and now I'm going to be poor.
Right.
And can't afford my bills. So I say that to say, people, save your money and fuck these people on Instagram that don't give a fuck anyway, and that's gonna see that one time, double tap, and forget about it after that anyway.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it. That's all I gotta say.
Sydney said her affirmation is stop the flex.
Okay, seriously.
Kalia, what you got, girl?
Mine is very simple. It's just something that I tell myself often, and that's you are enough.
Come on, Becoming, Michelle Obama.
Is that where you got that
I did
from?
not read that book.
Yeah.
That book was long, okay?
Y'all, I finished it the day I was leaving LA on the plane. I've had that book, I don't even know how long. Entirely too long to not have read it.
How long is it?
Like 400 pages?
Oh, I read it.
I know that
800.
means nothing to you, Miss Reedy Pants.
Yeah, I was gonna say I read it.
400 pages is a lot.
It is a lot.
I read an 800-page autobiography by Stokely Carmichael. Nothing is a lot to me. If it's 801, then it's a lot to
800 pages
me.
would take me 800 days.
And I read it because I was writing a paper on him in college. But anyway, I just brought it up to say, yeah, if it's not 801 pages, then I'd be like, oh, I've done more before. What everybody should do
that
is
shit is thick.
right. What everybody should do is
You could sit on it to be able to see
Right.
what's still in
if you
there.
think 100 is a lot or 200 is a lot, just go ahead and read something ridiculous like an 800-page book, and then you will never think that anything is a lot again until you read something else that's 800
That would
pages.
literally take me 800 days. Okay, you are enough. Go ahead, Kalia.
You are enough. I feel like oftentimes going back to the mental health tip, we focus on all of the areas that we're lacking in. We don't take enough time to see like wherever we are right now is where we need to be. And yeah, we can look towards the future, but in this moment, you are enough. So if you're feeling like, okay, I don't know if I have what it takes to be successful. I want to start this business, but I don't know if I'm ready. You're ready. You're
are
enough.
ready,
You have to
okay.
take the step, but you can't second guess because there's never going to be a point in time where you feel like everything's perfect, where you feel like you are the best version of yourself. So in this moment, you are enough. You have everything it takes to get to the next step. You just have to take the step.
Absolutely. And you get better by, failing.
Right.
So you got to practice. But if you don't ever take the step, you ain't going to never get better either. So I love that. Aisha, close us out, queen.
Okay. All right. I got 2.
Okay.
One is be open to spiritual guides, to your consciousness, to God, whatever you want to call it, that is speaking to you. So you know, in losing my daddy, I think like, you know, a lot like it feels very like physical, like, oh my God, I really want to hug my dad. I really want to call him. The whole time I was gone, I got a sign every single day that was like physical, but also I could hear him every single day. And it sounds weird to be like now in, you know, October of 2019 to literally be like, oh yeah, my daddy told me yesterday that blah, blah, blah. Like people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, no, I literally heard it. I literally heard it. I literally saw it. I would, you know, wake up in the mornings and immediately go hiking. And anytime I'm in the gym, I listen to music, I listen to a podcast 24/7. I'm always being stimulated. So I made it a point to not be stimulated at all when I would go hiking. Like I would just put my phone in my little fanny pack and get to hiking. And I would see like manifestations of things that like me and my dad talked about. Dragonflies, hummingbirds, blue's my daddy's favorite color. I would see California blue jays, hawks, which are messengers of the, you know, spirit world that bring you messages from somebody that you've lost or whatever. Like I would see more than one of those signs every single day I went hiking. So like the couple days that I had things to do, like work-wise, that I couldn't go hiking and I would just go to the gym, I would feel myself being like almost depressed in that day, and I couldn't figure out why. And I'm like, oh, because I didn't get to see my dad today. Like I didn't get to see him physically today. Another thing is that when I was in the airport to leave from Charlotte to go to LA, I missed my flight by like 2 minutes. So I had to get on the next flight, which was 2 hours later. So I sat down and I was just scrolling through my phone because I think all my books and everything were packed away. Scrolling through my phone, looking at pictures. And I had taken a picture of a card my daddy sent me when I was in college. And inside the card that I had taken a picture of, it said, baby girl, I love you always and forever. I believe in you and support your dreams. And I was like, what the hell? And it was dated 1/16/15, I think. And it was just like, so every single morning I would wake up and I would say that before, you know, looking at my phone, before getting out of bed. I would wake up and I would say, baby girl, I love you. I believe in you. Support your dreams. I'm like, why would I see that, you know, the day I'm getting on a plane to go do the scariest thing I've ever done? Like, go stay by myself for a month in a place I don't know. Like, because I'm meant to do it. And so every day, you know, like if I was doing something outside and I would see something like that, I'm like, Aisha, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly when you're supposed to be there. The shitstorm that I went through, you know, last year and the year before was just like, I couldn't have gone to LA during those times, you know, when I was depressed about not having a full-time job. And then I got a full-time job, you know, with my degree. And then it's just like, well, if I would have had that then, I wouldn't be able to take a month-long trip to LA. Like, I was meant to go through that shit to realize that's not what I want to do, to quit, to now have a job where I can literally be like, bye, y'all. I'll see y'all in a month or 2 months, or hire me back in 6 months, like whatever. Like, I had that flexibility because I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. And if you're listening to your spirit guides, you will be too. And it's not to say like, oh, you mean if I just listen a little harder, I'll snap out of depression? No, but you'll get there because that's what it is. It's a guide. But if you're not listening, you will miss it every time. It's like if I tell y'all, close your eyes right now and tell me if there's something red in the room. You won't fucking know. But if I tell you to look for something red and then close your eyes, you're going to know exactly what it was. Like, you have to be looking. You have to be listening for those signs. So that's number one. Listen. Be open-minded. Listen to your spirit guides because they're not going to steer you wrong. Number two is call an Uber. So that's important to me because I feel like lately I've had a lot of loss around me for such stupid decisions that you can avoid by calling an Uber. Like, or calling a friend to pick you up, or a taxi or whatever, which I do understand that those can be scary things too, because bad things happen to women sometimes, or a lot of times. But please don't jeopardize yourself. Please don't jeopardize, you know, taking a mother from their baby. Please don't jeopardize losing friends or, you know, your friends having to cry at your funeral because you made a stupid decision.
Right.
Please don't drive intoxicated. Please don't drive, you know, drinking and all that kind of stuff. Just call it Uber, y'all. Get home safe so that we don't have to have T-shirts with you on them.
Yeah, I have to say this because drunk driving, I have done it once in my life. It was ridiculously fucking drunk. I didn't hurt anybody, thank God, but and like now I just be like, it's so selfish to drink and drive. Like even when we went to ECU, we had whole ass buses, but because we're too good to wait on the bus, or it's too cold outside, or whatever the fucking excuse might be, which is free, we paid for it. You know, we paid for it. People wouldn't do it; they would just drink and drive anyway. But people just choose to drink and drive. Like you gotta think about all the love that was poured into you by your parents, your friends. Like it's so you're being selfish. And trying to save money, but it's like you're being selfish against yourself because you're putting your own body and all the people who ever loved you in jeopardy by and it's not even normally the drunk driver that dies. It's always the person that was minding their fucking business, out getting bread or some shit. So now, and then you gotta think about it in that way. You gotta live with that for the rest of your life now. Like, so yeah, that's something that really annoys me to my core because I think it's one of the most selfish things a person can do is drink and drive. It just aggravates me. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. Yeah, so please take all of the affirmations, of course, but that one is really near and dear to my heart, not because I've lost anybody, but just because I just be like, wow, like there's so many things at our disposal nowadays. If you don't like Uber, you
We
got
have
Lyft.
so many other options.
Yeah,
And-
or you can stay your ass. Clearly, you need to stay your broke ass. Clearly, you can't afford the Uber twice, so you need to stay your broke ass
okay,
home.
you can't buy it twice.
My God.
Yeah,
Okay.
I spent like the whole time I was in LA, no matter what parties or things I was invited to, I'm like, oh yeah, I probably don't want to go because then I would want to drink. And if I got to stay sober, I'm just going to go to bed late. I'll be tired. I won't hike in the morning. I won't see my dad. It's just, no, I'm just good. Like,
Right.
or I'll go, but I'll be the DD and I'll be bored or whatever. Like, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's healthy too, people. Take a break from drinking every now and then.
Right. Absolutely.
Too
Well,
old for that now. God damn, that shuts my whole body down for days.
Okay. Well, people, we have welcomed you back to the living room. We have been here for almost 2 hours. We have introduced you to Kalia, and you have met her. You have seen the things and heard the things. And now it is time for us to go home. And so Aisha's going to tell you where you have to go.
Welcome back, y'all. We love y'all. We missed y'all. And y'all don't have to go home. But you do have to get the hell out the living room. Peace.
But you needed more. Angel in public, a freak on the covers. Been in the gym for a minute, you train out your ass at the summer. Mac of the vibes. I hate wasting time, I'd much rather show you the time of your life. We should have been on this shit, had to make sure the time was right. Me fucking you in Jamaica, it's been on my list for a while. You dropping niggas, not dropping locations. I just got out of a little situation. You ahead of the game cause your head is amazing. That thing you do with your tongue, girl, you got me hard as the pavement. Commitment ain't fitting, let's stick to relations. Only ties I can do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't. Do is you cut to the bed and I can't.